Welcome in, everyone. Quick disclaimer off the top of this episode. It's a pretty long one. Me and Coleman had a great time recording for over 2 hours. Just quick content warning. There are a few curse words throughout this podcast, so listener discretion is advised.
It's going to fall in behind for Team Shaw. And it's on a play here for Rodriguez. Down to shoot and
Welcome to the Lights Lounge, your weekly home for all things Las Vegas Lights FC. We're here every single week in 2025 for a deeper dive into everything that happens on the pitch, including match previews and analysis alongside a new guest every single week. Next up, the Lights have another home game against Lexington. Western Conference six-pointer is pivotal to the playoff race. It's even more important for the team to pick up 3 points after last week's tough 2-1 loss to NCFC, in which the comeback sparked by Coleman Gannon's late goal fell just short. So, alongside me today to chat about all of that is that goal scorer and the number one most requested episode guest by the fans, Coleman Gannon. Coleman, welcome to the pod.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Every time I'm at the stadium, I'm chatting with fans that listen to the podcast. I ask them, who do you want to see on the pod? And I always get Coleman.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
I wonder why.
Yeah, well, I wonder too, because I told them that I don't think they've ever seen you do media for us, in which I think you make it your goal to answer a question in as few words as possible.
In and out,
and get out. I've never seen someone answer questions in 5 words or less.
Very simple. Yeah.
So we'll see. These normally take about an hour. Let's set some Vegas odds here. What's your over-under for length of the episode with Coleman Gannon?
No, I think I'll, come out of my shell for this one.
Okay, cool.
Because it's not, just media questions.
Okay.
It's more about your life and stuff.
Okay, love it. I set the over-under at 42.5 with our content team,
42.
and I smashed the over, so let's see if I can get us over today.
Okay.
Let's jump into it. First, I want to talk about Devin Rinsing, because that's the narrative right now, as the team's had 3 games under Devin at this point. Just give me your initial impression of how the team is transforming under Devin and how that's going.
Yeah, in terms of the way we play, I definitely like it. I feel like it's much more high pressure, high intensity, the type of soccer that fans want to watch going after the game. And I think that kind of fits my play style as well, which helps. I'm a pretty high pressure player, I guess. And so I like that. It's all about, winning the ball in their half and making the other team hurt, kind of. So, yeah,
I was going to say, I feel like that's a talking point right now, that this system really fits your play style really well. You're a player that buzzes around and covers a lot of ground. How specifically does it fit you, and how do you see yourself as a player that fits into a high-pressing system?
I think you put it perfectly. I like to buzz around and press players, and when you set the system for that, I think that's only going to help. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it was a lot hard. To be fair, I was injured most of the time, but it's a lot harder to do that when you're in a deep block, that type of thing. And, especially now that we have actual wingers as well versus the 3 in the back.
You won the preseason fitness test. I remember that from our content days. Have you always been the guy on the team that wins
never
the
lost
preseason
a fitness test? In fact,
never lost a preseason fitness test.
Yeah.
Is that something that comes naturally? Like, you're a naturally fit guy, or do you grind in the off season, or a little bit of both?
Naturally, I would say, yeah. Me and my friend, just a random example, one year, in the off-season time, we just, bet a guy that, that weekend we could run a marathon. And we just, went out and ran the Charlotte Marathon. And now I do it every year, but not Charlotte specifically, but...
You ran the Charlotte Marathon?
Yeah.
Okay. When were you in Charlotte? Because I'm intrigued because I'm from Charlotte, and I've run the Charlotte Marathon.
One of my best friends went to Wofford for a while.
Oh, yeah?
So we drove from Spartanburg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible. What year did you run the Charlotte Marathon?
Well, I've done 4 now, so 4 years ago probably.
Okay, 4 years ago would have been 2021.
Yeah, sounds right.
I think I ran
really?
that marathon. No, I'm dead serious. I think I ran that marathon. How fast did you run the marathon?
Well, that one we were pretty unprepared, to be frank.
Okay.
I had never literally never gone for a run more than 5 miles before we did that one, and for probably 20 miles we felt great. I ran it with my boy Jackson. He's probably not gonna watch, but and for 20, dude, we're feeling great. We're laughing, we're having fun. We're taking, people hand stuff out. We're taking everything in and out, and then by 20, I start to see him just fade. I'm like, oh shit, that's not a good sign at all. And then around 21 or 22, I was like, my legs are cooked. And I started just
it's the classic walk.
Yeah, the run walk, your legs are falling apart. People are passing us.
No way.
I remember a specific moment, there was a a marching band under a bridge, and they're like all cheering, they're all excited,
Yeah.
like, come on, don't look. And my friend was like, fuck off. Like, he got so angry. And then I remember so vividly, like, this guy who must have been like 200 pounds wearing like a camel backpack just like ran right past us, and we looked at each other like, gotta be kidding me. So that one wasn't great. I think we finished in like 4 hours exactly.
I found the result while you were telling that
Yeah.
story. 2021 Charlotte Marathon, Coleman Gannon, 4:14.
Yeah.
4:14, 16 that's 9:42 minute
Not
per
great.
mile pace.
And then-
you were in 222nd place at 20th mile, and then 381st
Yep.
at the full course.
Exactly.
So that adds up.
Yep. Factual proof. But for the following that, the next year, I was like, yeah, I'll start to maybe go for a run every once in a while. And then I ran Cocoa Beach in 3:43, I think, 3:45, something around there.
Yeah.
And then I went back to Cocoa Beach next year, 3:15, and then last year I ran 3 flat in Kiwi Island. So
nice.
hopefully sub 3 this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. I just wanted to be known that I ran 3:10 in that Charlotte Marathon in 2021.
Well,
So I just
Not
wanted,
anymore.
I just wanted to be
I beat
known.
you now, so you had it back then, but no longer.
I don't think you want to know what my PR is. So,
Oh yeah, what is it?
2:46. Yeah.
I'll get there one day. Come on. Once
Well,
the career's over.
Once the career's over, we'll
properly
do
train.
it. We'll go do one.
Yeah,
Okay, that's incredible. Let's get back on track.
Yeah.
Let's. I don't want to jump into the depressing NCFC now at this
Yeah.
point. Tell me about training sessions under Devin. I was out there this morning waiting to do post training media, and it's very, very intense. And it seems
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he demands a lot of you on the training pitch.
Definitely high intensity. Like, if we're training, it's like at the demands a lot would be a great way to put it. Definitely. I feel like earlier in the year, like there would be very long training sessions, but it wasn't. It was kind of slower, and I feel like it is condensed a bit, but now it's like sharp the entire time, very demanding. So I think that's been a good thing, and it's only making us better. So
Yeah. You prefer it that way, I assume?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, just less time on feet, but like
yeah,
after it while you're
and you
here.
feel like you're just like using your time every second you're out there. You're kind of getting after it.
Yeah. What are you guys working on in training this week? What's been the focus?
I mean, definitely, it's been throughout this, like, kind of getting the basics of his tactics, like, for the last few weeks, and, like, really hammering in the importance of, like, being locked in the whole game, the pressure, the system, because, I mean, obviously coming in mid-season or into the season is an interesting one for a coach, because, like, they have to instill tactics while also trying to get results immediately, because, playoffs are coming.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that it's just been a lot of working on the press, a lot of just, like, mentality in terms of how he wants to play and how he wants us to, like, react about losing the ball, that type of stuff. And then on the ball, how can we hurt them, like, when we get it back or win it high, like, whether we play or whether it's, going at the wing back, that type of stuff.
You mentioned earlier, like, the team playing with true wingers for the first time this year, going away from the back three and the wing backs. Do you view yourself as a true winger, or what do you view yourself ideally?
I can, I fit in multiple places for sure. I can definitely play in the middle, but I do think my best position is probably on the wing, just in terms of my assets I have.
Yeah. You prefer playing on the right or the left? If you could just choose.
Probably the right, because I prefer to cut in on my left to shoot and out on my right. But on the other side, like, I can do both, but I do prefer cutting in on my left and then being able to take it to my right on the outside. So
Okay, thank you for gifting me that segue into NCFC
Cool.
because you cut in on your left foot and stuck it in the top corner against
it was
NCFC.
okay, yeah.
So tell me about that goal. What did you see on that?
Yeah, I mean, it was late and we were down 2-0, so we were getting kind of desperate for a goal. And so, honestly, I took a couple shots before that were nowhere near the goal. So, one was bound to go in at that point, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry to Sean for not slipping him in when he had that space, but, it worked out.
That's one of them where Sean bombs forward on the overlap, and if you don't stick it in the top corner, you're getting an earful from him.
I was thinking about it as I cut inside. I was like, I don't play him, then I better score this.
Yeah.
But he did, like, take the defender. The defender kind of, like, stopped coming to me and started to think about him, which gave me a second to hit it.
Yeah. Why do you prefer cutting in on your left? Because you're a right-footed player, or you're both.
It's. I think that, like, I wouldn't say ambidextrous because there's different things that I like to do on different feet. Like, I would so much rather hit a long ball on my right foot or, like, even take a corner on my right foot. But specifically, like, cutting in or dribbling, I would prefer to be on my left foot. Because I grew up, like, when I was really young, lefty. I'm left-handed, and I grew up left-footed until I was, like, I don't know, 8 or 9 or somewhere around there. And then my parents were like, yeah, one day you just randomly switched to your right foot. We don't really know why.
Wow.
And then when I was like 15, I definitely was like very, still, like I had a decent left foot, but I was right-footed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, just like, I like to watch like lefties play on the right wing. And I was like, they look good dribbling and stuff. And so I just like started training a lot on my left foot. And it became like, at one point, I would say better than my right for sure in terms of a lot of things. And I would say they're pretty equivalent, while there's different things I would want to do on each.
Fascinating. I feel like you and Gennaro are similar in this way. Gennaro, when I was talking to Gennaro, he's kind of the same way. Like, he's left-footed and plays as a left back, but there's different things that he likes to do with his right foot. So
and that's like, I feel like people throw around the word ambidextrous like a lot for people who do that type of thing, but it's like, I wouldn't say that, because there's like very different things you want to do on each foot. You know, like I'm comfortable doing other things. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Personally, I prefer to use my left foot for nothing.
Yeah,
so.
Fair. Standing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's my plant leg, and that's about all it's useful for. Let's talk about that game kind of full picture, because obviously the comeback falls a little bit short. There are a couple good chances at the end, just can't quite get that equalizer across the line. When I had Devin for our post-match media availability, he was particularly upset with not the effort, he said today in the first half, but the level of pressure and the level of high pressing.
Yeah.
Do you share that evaluation?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, compared to New Mexico and San Antonio, who did we tie for that?
Who did we tie? Who did we play? Behind the camera, who did we play before New Mexico?
New Mexico?
No one knows.
Awesome.
We played someone.
My memory's tripping right now.
1-1 draw. It's going to hit us in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But
I feel like there was a stark difference in our pressure, which I think we've definitely worked on a lot this week because of that. I think that NCFC we just like dropped off a bit for some reason. We gave them, I wouldn't call it respect, but for a team that doesn't build as well as New Mexico, and I do believe it was San Antonio.
I think it was San Antonio. That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
I think those two teams are really good at building. Like, that's one of the way they are built to play, and we press them really well. And NCFC isn't necessarily known for that. They're more, a physical team that's gonna make it hard for you. And I think we gave them too much time on the ball. It was a 3-back, which was a little different, I guess. But I think it fell off and it was disappointing for sure.
Yeah, just learning, because pressing a 3 center back system is different than pressing a 2 center back system. So maybe that plays
somewhat,
in.
But I think that it was mostly that for some reason we just didn't. I don't know. We should have, but
yeah, exactly. What are the positives to take away from the 2-1 loss to NCFC?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we, while not putting away or even putting on target a lot, we created a lot of chances, and we, especially in the second half, hurt them with the ball more than we have other teams, I would say. And I think that we're putting together the pieces of the puzzle, and we can't forget to do something like press when we're thinking about something else, like on the ball. You have to do both. But I do think that on the ball and in attacking situations, we were creating more, even though we can probably do better to finish them off and stuff.
Yeah, you mentioned hurting them with the ball a little bit more. I feel like that coincided a lot with Tommy coming in the game, Tommy McNamara. Yeah. He's been a new addition recently, obviously a veteran with a ton of MLS appearances, and you can see how animated he is when he comes in, that he's just he's not here to float around, he wants to win.
No, he wants it.
What do you think of him as a player, and how's he been adding off the bench so far?
Quality player, obviously, quality experience. It's funny, actually. I haven't even told him this, but the first MLS game I ever went to, I was 13 or 12 or something, and my dad's family's all from New York, and so we went to watch NYCFC play against Red Bulls, and he played, and I was I vividly remember it, which is funny now, full circle, but he's a great player, and he's obviously added quite a bit of experience and winning mentality. So
yeah, at Yankee Stadium, I have similar memories. I mean, we're obviously a similar age, but I'm going to keep stealing your. But I also remember going to NYCFC. I have family that lives in New York City. We went to Yankee Stadium, and it was that David Villa, Andrea Pirlo. They won
Mixed Discarud.
They won Mixed Discarud. Man, that's a legend. The streets will never forget Mixed Discarud. But I think they won 5-2, and it was,
I can't remember the score, but
it was probably a different game. But that's pretty funny. But I think he adds something that the team needs a little bit of the veteran presence, but also someone to come in and sit in those little pockets, especially against a team like NCFC they want to sit deep. They want to
Yeah.
get the lead and sit, and you have to have someone that can sit in those pockets and help unlock a defense like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, obviously, and I think that, we've definitely got some good like older guys, but I think we definitely have a young team.
yeah,
And it helps to have an older voice in the locker room, that type of thing.
yeah. Last thing on the NCFC, how do you feel about your individual performance against NCFC? Were you pretty happy with the way that you played overall, or what's your evaluation of that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the most important thing is winning the game. So
Sure.
can't say too much on that part, but I think I played pretty well, and I like that I took more shots, went at the defender a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
got past him quite a few times. So can't complain about that part.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, I mean, you get the goal, but like you can't evaluate a performance based on the result. Sometimes you kind of
Yeah.
have to take the building blocks. But do you feel like, from game 1 against San Antonio to game 3 now, do you feel more comfortable under like what Devin's asking you to do?
Totally.
You can kind of switch
Yeah,
your brain off
yeah.
a little bit more.
I mean, I think the whole time you kind of have to like be pretty focused, but
Yeah.
I definitely feel like we're starting to get it a bit, and
Yeah.
it's I would
Yeah, maybe switch your brain off isn't the right thing. Maybe it's more like you save that split second
Yeah,
because you're not
yeah,
having to
yeah.
think about what the
Instinctive
right
versus-
decision.
yeah,
Exactly.
totally.
Let's talk about playoff hunt. There's 9 games left. Only 3 of them are at home. The team's on 20 points right now. How important is this 6-pointer against Lexington on Saturday at home?
Yeah, I mean the next two are arguably two of the most important games of the season, because Phoenix and Lexington are, other than the two teams that are below us right now, because they're points or not below. Sorry, like in the playoffs, they're actually in 5th and 6th, and then
Yeah.
7th and 8th are below them, but they have 2 games in hand. So
Correct.
more than likely they'll go back to the teams literally like on the line of
Mm-hmm.
playoffs. So these are like 6-point swings, what you
Mhm.
could consider kind of like, we need to win because we're taking 3 points from them and adding 3 points to ourselves, kind of.
Yeah, and then the home games as well. It's a tough road stretch. Across.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
and then
3 to the East
after
Coast.
and then after these 2 games, you get the home game against Miami.
Yeah.
But then you've got to go 3 to the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's
Louisville,
which is a
Pittsburgh,
tough road
Rhode
game.
Island.
Pittsburgh, Rhode Island,
Which
and
are all tough road games, so
Yeah.
it's going to be.
makes it all the more important to get 3 points out of this run of 3
Totally.
games. And then you get a run of 3 games to end the year, one of which is at home,
Yeah.
but against another set of 3 teams that are all going to
Right
be around that
next,
playoff
yeah.
bubble.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the 2 critical stretches with the Eastern
Definitely.
Conference jammed in the middle there. So finish the sentence, Las Vegas Lights FC makes the playoffs if what?
We lock in and, start winning some games, obviously.
Yeah. How many wins do you think it's going to take? Have you thought about that? Or are you kind of taking it one game,
Game
at a
to game,
time?
for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Just, get 3 points and then just
Yeah,
see what happens.
exactly.
And until you're mathematically eliminated, that's just how it goes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think all we can think about is beating Lexington this weekend and then go from there.
Yeah. As you look at Lexington, what's the key for you to get 3 points against that team specifically?
I would say it's about us. We got to, number one, like press high and make it hard for them because they are, on paper, they have some really good players, to be honest, like really good. Like I think that they're starting to find their results, but before, like it was kind of like a discrepancy between the quality of player and the position in the league because they're quite low for a while, but they have good players. So I think it's like we have to make it hard on them, and then once we have the ball, obviously, go at them, hurt them, keep it when we need to, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we'll see how that goes. There's no good segue here, but I just want to jump straight into your story.
Cool.
And let's go all the way back to Atlanta, Georgia. Growing up in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
You don't have a Wikipedia page, which I found weird.
It got taken down, actually.
It got taken down?
I do. Yeah, because I don't know why, but someone told me, and I went and looked at it. Like, this is probably like almost last year, and it said
Yeah.
editor had flagged for like not being of relevance or something. I was like, damn,
Dang.
that's crazy. But
Because when I've been doing the research, everyone's had at least a Wikipedia page. It
Yeah.
might only have 2 lines
I
on it.
did have one, but-
Yeah, I was like, how does Coleman not have a Wikipedia
not
page?
enough viewers, I guess. No searches.
Okay, that's tough luck. Maybe we'll have to help get your Wikipedia page back. But so basically, it's impossible to find any details beyond you playing for the Concord
Man of
Fire
mystery,
until
yeah.
2016. So fill in the mystery for me. What was it like growing up in Atlanta?
Oh, I mean, it was amazing, to be honest. I lived in, I don't know if you know the areas of Atlanta, but Buckhead,
Okay.
which is a suburb of Atlanta. And both my parents are teachers. And so I went to the school my dad was the principal of called Pace Academy.
Mm-hmm.
For, I don't know, until like fifth grade, probably. and then, yeah, and I played for Concord.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty big youth soccer club. You know, definitely had a pretty good team. We played up an age group in Classic 1, so
Okay, there you
bad.
go. We were having a little conversation
Yeah.
before the pod started about, because I played like around the same youth setup before you
Yeah.
passed me and went on to the MLS Academy glory. But yeah, that was like that level of youth soccer is kind of a different animal.
nostalgic for sure. I don't know
Yeah.
if Classic 1 even exists anymore, like
I don't-
regionals and stuff.
I think it's all, what's it called, ECNL now.
MLS Next as well.
And
It's
MLS
not the
Next.
same.
Yeah, but I like some of them are MLS Next, and if
Yeah.
you didn't make it to MLS Next or didn't make that cut, I think you're in ECNL now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. It's not.
not-
Because
it's not as good.
it used to be like, I remember my team like having to like fight through state cup playoffs
State Cup,
to
man.
like
We won
qualify
State
for
Cup,
region.
so-
I never won state
State
cup.
Cup champion over here.
I lost.
Beat LSA Sharks from
Okay.
Lanier.
I lost to CISA 3 years in.
CISA,
I lost to
good
CISA
team.
3 years in a row.
Yeah,
So
fair play to them.
A couple
Dynasty.
a couple MLS players on that team. No MLS players off my youth
Who
team.
from
So
them is on
Quinn McNeil.
I know.
played for-
Yeah,
you
he's
know Quinn?
really good friends with my friend Charlie Asensio. So.
Oh yeah. And I think, did Asensio play at Mount Pleasant?
No, he was at Atlanta United Academy.
Oh, he was at Atlanta
but
United Academy?
Just retired from pro
Okay,
soccer.
got you. Okay, all right, we're in the weeds on youth
Yeah.
soccer now. But Concord Fire, were you, and you were going to school? Were you always like a pretty talented prodigy, or what was your youth soccer career like before that?
It was interesting for sure because I was always a very technical player, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I would say the best players from my like youth soccer team that like didn't play soccer by the time they were like 18. You know, it was very much like I don't know what it is exactly, but it just tends to be that like those really good players when they're really young don't necessarily pan out. I don't know. But yeah, I was always small too, which didn't help, and not very strong at the time. So that kind of was a hindrance for sure.
Especially in
And-
the American soccer landscape, like especially those when you're like a U12 kid and you're trying to play for a really competitive team, they'll tend to prioritize this like
For sure.
kid that's 6 foot already.
There was
and-
this kid named Darwin, I remember, and he was an animal, man. He was like 6'2" at like 12,
Yeah.
just running the field.
Yeah.
Score like 40 goals a year.
Right, and doesn't have to develop technically at all though, because he can
No,
just sprint
no,
past
yeah.
people, right? Which is where you see some of the guys that are smaller like yourself. You have to get technically good,
Yeah.
and then that pays off for you down
Of
the road
course,
in your
yeah.
development.
And
So
catches up for sure.
Yeah.
You know, people, hear your growth spurt later, and you start to come into your body, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, those guys didn't necessarily work on it that much.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Were you always
and
Were you always an attacking player?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like a winger and a striker for like most of my youth, and then when I got a little older, obviously, so this is going to transition a little bit, but so when I was U14, basically, development academy started.
Yeah.
OG, miss
Yeah,
it for sure.
I know.
That was
yeah.
the best form of soccer.
OG USDA.
Yeah, so much better than MLS
Yeah.
Next.
Charlotte Soccer Academy never wanted to give me a look, so
Really?
that's just how it goes.
Hurts. So development academy was started, and it was Concord Fire, Georgia United, who was unbelievable at the time. Jackson Conway, Will Riley, like all those guys.
Yeah.
And then UFA. And then Atlanta United came in and kind of took the place of Georgia United. And so basically stole all their players.
Yeah.
And the whole Atlanta United, like U17s, U19s, was basically just Georgia United and took the coaching staff really too.
Charlotte
United-
C did the same thing with
Yeah.
CSA in my
Georgia
region.
United folded.
Yeah.
I think it was worked out that it was like, you guys are going to step in and we're going to.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was that much of a split. But
Yeah.
so they had like a big tryout in Atlanta for Atlanta United. It was hundreds of kids came to the first one. I don't know if that one was I think that was still invitational, I'm pretty sure. And they basically like cut half. And I made that second cut. I was like 13, I think. And then it was like, I don't know, between 50 and 100 kids at the next tryout. Didn't make it through that round to the academy. Definitely, at the time, was a sore subject.
Yeah.
I was, heartbroken, to say the least.
You're like 13 years
Yeah.
old. It's like that's the path. They're like, oh, I've got an MLS team in my city. Like, I'm gonna make this MLS
Yeah,
academy,
yeah.
and like I'm
Big
gonna be
dreams for
yeah,
sure.
exactly.
And so every summer from like when I was like 11 onward, had been going to IMG Academy for camp, which is like, I feel like a lot of people know IMG, but it's
Yeah, explain it for the people that don't.
it's a boarding school for like all sports kind of, and it's like whole thing is just like half a day of school and then half a day of your sport. And it's pretty like world renowned for its football and basketball and tennis. Nick Bollettieri started like the tennis academy. That's like the first thing that started. I believe they like have top 5 basketball and football in the nation. Soccer's never been quite as good because of the MLS academy system, but they do have some like good players that'll come out of it. And so they'd offered me a spot after the camp that year, and we're like, yeah, you can come play for the U14 Development Academy. And so when Atlanta United didn't necessarily like work out, I was pretty excited to go down there, to be honest, because it's a lot of fun. You're living with your friends. It's kind of like college for younger kids. But I mean, obviously, my parents were, it was a big change for sure because I'm 13 years old. I'm going to live away.
I was going to ask how they felt about that.
Yeah, I think obviously they could tell at the time I was like so into soccer and I wanted like it to work. But I think it was definitely hard because it's like, you're leaving your kid. Definitely my mom. I'm sure there was some tears shed on the drive home.
I'm sure, yeah. It's a long drive home from Bradenton
Bradenton to Atlanta. But yeah, they dropped me off, and genuinely 2 of the most fun, like best years ever. Just, literally it's, you're living with your friends, you're being idiots, you're biking around Bradenton, sneaking off campus and stuff. So, and can't speak highly enough of IMG, to be honest. I wouldn't be here without it. And it's definitely at a time where, I would say it's a sore subject at the time about like not making Atlanta, but arguably I wasn't good enough at the time in terms of, I don't know, just all around player. And I think that at IMG I definitely came into my own and got a lot of minutes as a young kid in DA, which is, hard for, at the time it's tough definitely to break in. So
because the age groups are like stacked on 2 years at that time, right?
Yeah.
So were you on the younger side?
U14 I was on the older side and like came in and obviously like played, but then U17, like Atlanta United, basically all those guys that are on the U14 team, none of them went and played with the U17. They had like a gap year team called the U16 team. I think Will Riley was the only one, and Danny Mangrove maybe, who like played up with the U17s.
Yeah.
But the majority of them were just like on the U16 team playing against random teams versus Development Academy, and I got to play DA for a full year and like play basically every game, play against Atlanta United 17s and stuff, which is where I probably got like seen for trial for, I guess. I don't know. I mean, obviously they knew of me from Atlanta. Yeah. And
that's such a pivotal time too, because you're like 15 years old at that time, right?
Yeah, 15 for sure.
Yeah, and that's just like, that is like a key like marker in development. Like you're either going to like flip the switch and you're going to be like a 17, 18-year-old pushing for the first team, or you're like not going to quite.
Exactly.
And so it's key.
And I think it's getting younger and younger, but I would argue that U17 is the most important year of youth soccer for sure. You even see like some MLS Next academies cutting their U19 program because it's like
if you haven't made it by then, you're not going to.
And obviously they're later developers because I partially was one. And I think that
you see guys come from the college system all the time, right? Like guys will like bounce out of the academy system, they'll bounce to a good college, they'll be there for 2-3 years, they'll get drafted, and then all of a sudden it's like, why didn't this kid just like make it 3 years ago?
Exactly.
And sometimes it's just the timeline you're on.
I mean, some players blossom at different times, I guess. But I, for spring break, came home and had like a 1-day thing with Atlanta United's academy. And I was with their U16 team, and it was funny because it was like, I don't think that it was like a throwaway thing by any means, but like, they didn't give me gear. I was training like my own stuff basically with the group.
Amazing.
In a scrimmage. And I was like going in, I was like, wow, like, I'm going in, I'm like, they're looking at me seriously. And as soon as that happened, I was like, maybe they're not looking at me as
maybe
seriously.
I'm just a practice body today.
Maybe this was a favor. And I, to be fair, played incredible. I remember played really well, which that was probably the, looking back, one of the biggest moments of my career, because if I hadn't played well that day, I wouldn't have gone to Atlanta United's academy, wouldn't have gone to anything. So, it's definitely who sees you on a day. And so Atlanta United said, okay, we'll invite you back for an entire like week, basically. Came back, and instead of being like the U16 group, they trained with me like the U17 group. Had gear this time, thankfully. And Tony Gannon was the coach, pretty big figure in youth soccer down in the South. I can't speak highly of him as well. He can't speak highly enough of him as well. He definitely helped my career, and so he was coaching the U17s at the time, and it was the year they'd literally come off like winning the national championship. It's like it was that the year before it was like Andrew Carlton, all those guys, Chris Goslin, and then the year after they made it to the final with like Jackson Conway, all those guys, and that was the team I came in to train with. And I remember being like, holy shit, this is so much like higher level than
what you were experiencing
yeah,
at IMG.
yeah. Like IMG was like it was still like but it was nothing compared to like that. It was a professional environment there. Guys that had like were pushing to make their pro debut at that point, and it was like wow, definitely a wake up call. But at the end, thankfully, they offered me a spot, and I remember like. Even on like when being offered, they're like, it's not gonna be easy. Like we think you're good, but you're coming into a team that's very good. And obviously took the opportunity and went. And I mean, Atlanta United was amazing.
Yeah.
I do remember going into the U17s though. We went to there was a tournament they used to do. I'm not sure if they do it anymore, but it was preseason, and it would be 5, I think, MLS academies and 5 Liga MX academies, and we'd go to Mexico City and like play each other, and obviously like very high standards for going in, and we got walked. Like,
oof.
We tied maybe one game, but I think the aggregate score we probably had a goal deficit of like 50. We got beat by Pachuca 7 to something like 1.
Oh my
Club
gosh.
America 5-0. Like, I remember specifically like coming into the locker room after like 4-0, 5-0 loss, and like the coaching staff just like ripping into us. One kid had like given the coach his cross before the game to like hold his necklace.
Yeah.
He like chucked it at him in his face. It was like, you're gonna need every prayer you can get. And there was this kid who was like a little more pudgy. And he comes in, he points at him, he goes, they're playing for the next meal. You're playing for your next piece of fudge. And it was like, to this day, that was one of the worst, like, screamings at the group, like, in a group I've ever got. I mean, we got destroyed, but...
Yeah.
And going back, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work out. Like, I don't know if soccer's for me at this point.
Yeah.
And a couple of us got sent down to play with the U16s after that.
Ooh.
As, like, we weren't even in age to play with. Like, it was me, literally my best friend Jackson, and then... couple other guys, and they were like, you're playing with U16, so further notice.
Oh.
And we were like, I was like, wow, I'm a weekend, and like I'm already getting sent down, like this is raps.
Wait, that was like your first week?
First week. Like we trained for a week, we go to Mexico.
I didn't realize that.
I think I started like one game. Like it wasn't like I was like, like I thought I did pretty well.
Yeah.
And I go back and I'm like, man, I played like I don't know, fucking an hour at all, like in 7 games, and this is how
I was coming into games. We were already down 5-0.
Yeah, exactly.
What's I supposed to do?
Can't do much at that point. So we come back, and that's like, I mean, devastating, of course, devastating blow. And so we go and we play in this tournament. At this point, there's nothing to lose. It's like we're playing with the U16 team against like local academies. We just came back from playing Pachuca. And of course we did well. We weren't playing that great players, but we did. I think I did really well. And I mean, at that point after that, they sent me back to the 17s. They're like, you're a good player, but still wasn't getting any time. And I remember like being on the bench for like probably, I mean, that was the beginning of August, all of August, like kind of just like on the bench, riding the bench, getting 5 minutes here and there. We played at IMG. I got maybe 10 minutes. I remember after the game. They tied it in the last minute 2-2. This kid comes up to me and is like, "Why'd you leave? Why'd you leave?" Talking all this shit. And I was just like,
that's a bad feeling right there.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, wow. And then I remember at the time, they would send. Actually, also our U17 coach was Stephen Glass. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, and he went on to coach Memphis 901.
Yeah, he coached Atlanta United 2. He was the coach who called me up to Atlanta 2 actually.
Yeah.
Then Atlanta United, Aberdeen, and then Memphis. Great relationship with him as well, but basically they would send the players who weren't going to play at the weekend to the U19 training to help, and like if they need numbers, because the U19s had less numbers, and like you'd scrimmage with them basically.
Yeah. And
it was kind of just like a throwaway thing. But I remember they sent me up to train with the 19s, not as like, oh, you're playing up, but like just help them out.
Like we said earlier, the 19s are kind of the afterthought at
a little bit. Yeah, they were good at the time for sure.
Okay.
But and so. Rodrigo Rios, amazing guy, was their coach. The Austin FC assistant last year, and like through to the start. I don't know if he's there this year anymore because Josh Wolf obviously is gone now.
Yeah, I don't know if they kept him or not.
But it was just like I was playing in the middle of the park, which is where I played at the time, like 8, 10, that area, and I had one of the better scrimmages of my life as well. And Stephen Glass happened to be watching, and was like, "Wow, I actually need to give this guy a chance," and because I don't necessarily think I had one with the 17s at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I went on to start. My first start was actually against NCFC in the academy with the 17s, and I started every single game from then on till through playoffs. So I couldn't have gone better after that, I guess. And really, I think it's a testament to like kind of taking your opportunity for sure, and just working hard. And so I played through with Atlanta United's academy through the 17s, and thought I had a great year. And I remember in the summer, a couple guys going to train with the second team, and the academy director Tony was like, "Yeah, be ready. Like, you're probably gonna train with the second team." And I remember like training all summer, and like my family was going to Italy, and I was like, "Guys, I can't go. Like, I'm gonna get called up to train with the second team.
This is my chance." It didn't happen.
That call never happened. I was waiting, like checking the phone every day. Like, this is the day. Phone call never came. So that year didn't play at all with the second team this summer. I was 16 at the time, I think.
Yep. That was 2019. Yeah.
Cut to my second year in the academy, which is my first year U19s there.
Okay. You've aged out of the U17s at this point, yeah.
Rodrigo Rios is my coach, and I had a great first half of the season. Had I would consider one of my breakout games against Inter Miami's academy. Scored 2 goals. Played really well, and I was technically playing up an age group there. Not really because it's 2 age groups, but I was the younger side. Yep. And I was 17 at the time, and I remember, January comes around, and that's for MLS academies when the call-ups start to happen. If you're really good, you're going to the first team preseason.
Yeah. And
then you're playing with the second team if you're not. You're really quite good still.
Because it all trickles down, right? Yeah. Because there's the best guys on the second team are going to first team preseason. Yeah. So then the second team needs guys from the academy, and it all kind of trickles up.
It is funny too to even talk about this journey because while I'm there, George Bello is the same age group as me.
Yeah.
I probably met him 3 times. He was with the first team by then.
Just playing with the first team consistently.
There's levels for sure.
Yeah.
But I did get called up to preseason with the second team, which was huge for me. Such a big moment. And I don't think I played in the first game of the season with them. And then I'm not sure exactly which game of the season it was, but
I actually have it. It's Charleston Battery.
I don't remember when that was though.
It's March 8th.
Is that the second game?
I think it was the second game of the season. We'll find out in a second here, but keep telling your story.
An incredible moment. Steven Glass was the coach. I'm 17 years old. Gets to come into a professional game.
It was the first game of the season.
First game, okay.
Yeah, it was
fair
first
enough.
Game of the season. He played 28 minutes off the bench.
Yeah.
And a 1-0 loss.
Tyler Wolf was the starter.
Oh, nice.
1-0 loss. It's funny, actually. I remember this well now. I was coming on. You know how you can make a sub? I was the sub that came on for when they scored the goal.
Oh yeah.
I was well, that doesn't help either.
Yeah.
And I also remember I'm putting on my shirt and walking out. I'm like, this is it. I'm coming on.
Yeah.
And I hear the fans in the stand cheering, "We want Jackson Conway." Who's this guy? And I'm like, damn. It's a tough one to come into.
Wow. Yeah. Welcome to the team.
Thought I played pretty well. So. Yeah. And then next week of the year, COVID happens.
Yeah.
World shut down.
I was going to ask you about this. I was looking at this and I was like, man, it goes a long time between playing, and I completely forgot it's 2020. Yeah.
And arguably helped me because, kind of. I mean, I think I would have played, but not to the amount that I did because there was a rule before about the amount of academy players second team could roster in the USL.
Yeah, because it's important to note that the second team was playing in the USL Championship at this time. This was pre MLS Next Pro.
I mean, at this point now, MLS Next Pro is I think the first year was pretty good. Second year dropped a little bit, but it's Academy League at this point.
It is, yeah.
And it's I think pro debuts meant a lot more when the second team was playing in the USL because it was you were playing against grown men. The team was you had a bunch of actual pros playing for your second team. It was you had vets. It was much more like an actual USL team playing in the USL with some academy guys that were good and got called up. Yeah. So COVID happens.
Guys that are going to hold the standard too, right? Exactly. You come up to the second team and they're playing for their next contract.
Totally.
They're not just anotremember academy kid that's oh, I hope I get playing time. Yeah. They're no, you're not fucking good enough right now. And if we don't win games, they're not going to re-sign me. So pick it up.
Exactly.
So,
I remember specifically going in to my first training session with them and being I got ripped apart by Kevin Barajas was the first one, I think. Held a high standard, was a pro for a while. And then Mo Jadama as well, who actually passed away last year, I think, in a car crash. But amazing guy, amazing captain at the time. And truly like held the standard, and I'm sure is looking back on it now, that must have been so tough for them to have like young guys coming up that were like 17 and having to actually hold the standard and stuff. And so
this is like a consistent theme in these podcast conversations, not just with you, but as we talk through guys' journey through the academy and stuff, like these first pro experiences, jumping into training sessions with real pros, like it makes such a difference. And every single guy that's made it to this level have looked back on their career and said that was important, right? Yeah. Like, and I think MLS Next Pro is losing that a little bit.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
And I would argue that, in the moment, it's definitely like, damn, like some of these guys are dicks, like that type of thing. Like,
yeah.
But looking back, you're like, wow, like I needed it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You need to learn what pro soccer is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up playing a lot that year. I think it was a shortened year.
Yeah, you've made 16 appearances.
And I think that was every game after the COVID.
Was. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Because obviously we came back and brutal. We were like training with a mask on, and it was just straight running for like a month.
Mm-hmm.
And like small group trainings, like we couldn't come near each other.
Yeah.
The worst trainings of my life by far.
Yeah.
Just like absolute wreck. And then they like approved like the bubble play or whatever it is. I don't know. And we, it was like condensed into a 4-team group. And we would basically just play the same teams over and over again.
Yeah, it was the Rowdies, Memphis, Charleston, Miami, and Birmingham as well.
As well, yes.
And you just played those teams basically,
and, not that we drew the short end of the stick, but we were playing Tampa was unbelievable at the time.
Yeah.
And we're like a bunch of kids going down there every other weekend and just getting destroyed.
Yeah, your first game back was a 2-1 loss on July 11th.
I got an assist that game.
Yeah, you did get an
Jackson
assist.
Conway.
Yeah.
I literally like ran at the ball and the guy kicked it against my shin and it bounced to Jackson. And he scored from half field, so decent assist.
Yeah, it's a good one. You take them however they come.
Exactly. And then next game, actually, we played Memphis.
Yeah.
And funny enough, Ben Pierman was the coach. And I believe Devin Rinsing was the assistant coach.
He probably, he would have been if Ben was there. Devin was there from the beginning with Ben. So
hear great things about Ben Pierman as well. But and a good Memphis team. And I remember going in and being second start because I started against Tampa.
Yeah, second start. Third game ever.
And had a great game, to be honest. Scored a goal, got man of the match. I don't remember what the score was, to be honest.
It was 2-2.
Okay, take it. For Atlanta United too, that's a good result.
I've got the goal here. Let's watch it.
Yeah, let's see it.
Because I like this.
Mojidama on the ball.
Yeah, driving through midfield here.
Oh yeah. Oh, what a little run from me.
Left back keeps you onside.
I don't know. May have been offside, but look at that.
Yeah. No, I like this. I was watching this, though. I was watching the celebration. Like, this is obviously your second game back from a long COVID. You're just breaking through the pro team.
Oh, there's Caleb Wiley as well, the Chelsea man.
Yeah, Fortune as well.
Yeah, Johnny.
Yeah, but it's like you
Phil
can see.
Goodrum as well.
Yeah, this is a team,
Jackson
man.
Conway, what a team. If you look back, that's insane.
Dude, yeah. But you can see it's like on your face, like how much this goal meant to you at the time.
Yeah.
Like, you can see it. Like, it almost like it looks like it doesn't feel real to you.
I remember, there's no talk about you when you're in the. I mean, a little bit more now, but I mean, maybe like Gio Reyna had people talking about him, but back then, you didn't ever really see anything about yourself online. And I remember refreshing Twitter after the game and just seeing people talk, just being like, "Wow, I made it." Clearly didn't, but I was just in the second team. Garrison Tubbs as well.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a stacked team.
Yeah, this team was good. This team was. Yeah. There's a lot of names that pop off the page. With this team. So.
Great moment.
Yeah, no, that's pretty awesome. And it's your first pro goal. Like, it's only your third ever pro appeirance.
Yeah.
This is like that
goal
moment.
and assist, first 3 apperances. I was
you're like, oh, I've made it.
Yeah, I'm going. They're selling me at this point.
Didn't get another goal or assist for the next 5 games. So, didn't get another goal that you're actually.
I was about to say, I don't think I scored again.
No, you got 1 more assist. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and I remember being
that's how it goes as a young player, though,
fast,
right?
And then I remember being like, man, it is harder to score than I thought it was.
Yeah, you're like, you score that first goal, you're like, oh, this shit's easy.
Yep, exactly. And then I'm just getting bodied every game. Going to Tampa, getting thrown on the ground.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it was a wake-up call of how physical it really was.
Yeah. Jack Gurr was on this team as
Jack
well.
Gurr as well,
He's in Sacramento now.
Wow. That was really good. I mean, Phil is, the top scorer in the league right now as well.
Yeah. Caleb Wiley's in Europe right now, playing for Watford.
Signed for Chelsea.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else. I mean, Tyler Wolf was on the same team.
Yeah.
RSL. I mean, there's a bunch of MLS guys. So, quality team.
Yeah.
And then I remember, being probably the most worn out I've ever been after a season from just getting thrown around.
Yeah.
Also, a funny story as well. Not to get sidetracked.
No, let's go. This is the place for a sidetrack.
That year, again, I was with my friend Jackson. We're not the best when we come together. Poor decisions get made for sure. And I'm amidst my first pro season ever, and I'm like, dude, let's go skateboard. Used to skateboard a little bit.
Yeah.
And so there's like a massive hill, probably like a mile from my house. It's midsummer, so I'm shirtless, and I'm like, this one might be a little big. And so, I'm looking down at him. I don't know if I can handle that hill, but I'm not going to be the guy who's like, I'm not doing this hill. So
yeah,
of course,
we're here now.
Of course, man, we're going to do it. So we get to the top, we start going down, and I remember like being like, it's getting pretty fast. And have you ever skateboarded?
Yeah, I've longboarded quite a bit.
Yeah, well,
so
you use speed wobbles.
You get the speed wobbles.
They use speed wobbles like you would never believe, man.
The speed wobbles are so scary. If you've never speed wobbled on on a skateboard or longboard, it's terrifying.
I felt like the wheels were coming off. And then at a certain point, like, it levels out, and I'm shooting out at this point. Cars coming the other direction. At this point, I'm like, I'm dying. Like, this is it. I might die. And the speed wobbles get so bad, the board just flips to the side. I shoot out like this. My whole chest and arms is skinned, like completely skinned.
Oh my God.
I thought I was never going to have a nipple again. It was gone. And thankfully, it was not fully gone. It did come back, but the hands were the worst part because they took the brunt of the fall.
Yeah.
And it was like I'd lost every layer of skin on my hand. There's a lot of layers of skin on your hand.
Oh, my gosh.
And you could see my bone on my hip.
No way.
I turned my shirt into like a tourniquet, and I just start limping, running home. And everyone who sees me, they stops like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm fine.
It's like a zombie apocalypse movie.
Literally. My friend's like, dude, we gotta go. We're running all the way home. We get back, and I'm like, can't tell my parents.
Yeah.
At this point, I should go to the emergency room. Like, my arms are destroyed. The part here isn't as bad, but this part is terrible, and my whole chest and hip is like the worst parts. And I'm like, I can't tell my parents. Like, they're gonna kill me. Like, this is like arguably one of the biggest years of my career. I'm like, my body's destroyed.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, dude, you're just gonna have to pour rubbing alcohol all over me. And so I'm laying on the ground, and he's just pouring rubbing alcohol on it.
Oh my gosh.
To this day, the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. But for the rest of the season, I show up to training the next day, and I'm like, what am I gonna say? I'm not telling Tony Annan that I skinned myself skateboarding.
Yeah.
Like, I can't tell him, man. And so I walk in, and the trainers are like,
what happened to you?
What happened? Like, were you in a car crash? Like, you look horrible. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna tell Tony at all. Like, I'm just gonna tell the training staff I got in a bike accident. Like, I was on my bike, which is probably better. I was just on a neighborhood bike ride.
Sure, yeah. I'll just bike into the store.
Exactly, yeah. A quaint bike ride. And so they start wrapping my whole body up, like my whole chest, my arms. And Tony walks down to training. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing? What happened?" And in that moment, I'm like, a stick got caught in the spoke of my bike, and I went over the handlebars. He's like, "How does that even happen?" I don't know. That's what happened.
Freak accident.
Yeah, weird stick. It must have fallen from a tree or something.
Oh, man.
And he believed it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah.
And looking back, maybe not. But in the moment, I was just like, fooled him, and
got away with it.
But he was angry about that. He's like, why are you going on a bike ride? I'm like, a bike ride?
Yeah.
A bike ride's pretty normal.
I can't bike.
And so for the rest of the season, every time I would fall on my hands, it would be like agony.
Oh.
It would be, and I would play every game like wrapped up my entire hands. It looks like, like Benzema wraps his like one hand, both my arms.
You look like a mummy out there.
And I would just hit the ground and be like, oh my god, like it would be terrible pain. I remember every time. So especially coming to the close of that year, I was like, that was a hard, long year. We lost almost every game. Well, not every game, but it was hard. We didn't make playoffs for sure.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, not many wins.
Not many wins, no.
You got 3 wins. You beat Miami FC 4-3. You beat Union 2-1, and you beat Red Bulls 2.
Well, Bethlehem
5-3.
Steel, but
Bethlehem Steel. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, excuse me, Bethlehem Steel.
Yeah. We beat Red Bulls as well, right?
You beat Red Bulls 5-3.
Big win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Caden Clark played in that game.
Yeah. How did you play 90 minutes in this game in a 5-3 win and not get a goal or assist? You guys scored 5 goals. How did you?
Man, they were few and far between at the time.
Banger of a game, by the way. 5-3.
Yeah. We walked over them, to be fair. Caden Clark, take that.
You got a yellow card.
Now he's having a great year.
You got a yellow card. That's the only stat from that game.
I think I actually fouled Caden Clark. Oh my God! Here, I'm gonna grab my phone to show you this. This
Yeah.
is arguably the worst foul you'll ever see in your life. Not me, on me.
Yeah.
Just to talk about, how badly I was in pain
I love
after
that.
this year at this
I
point.
love that you have this on your phone. This is
Well,
from.
I'll tell you why once I
Yeah.
find it, because that's also part of the story. Let's see where this is. I definitely screen recorded it lately.
Mm.
Where is it? Here, I'll just find it
see
on
what-
Instagram, to be honest, because
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. So the guy who did it was also a young guy, and he posted it on Instagram like the next week after, who went on to do good things. And I hear he's a great guy, but his name's Joey Zielinski, and he plays for St. Louis City.
Okay.
And
He posted the foul on
he
Instagram.
posted the foul on Instagram at the end of like a dump. And I remember being like, wow, that is not cool.
And this is the foul you got the yellow card for.
No. This
No.
is the foul that he hit me for. I definitely
Oh.
fouled Caden, I think.
Okay, got it.
Who scored for sure on us.
Okay.
He was an unbelievable player, but
Dang, so he just posted himself just crushing you
Yes.
on the back of his like Instagram post.
yeah. I'm trying to find
That's
it.
crazy.
It's definitely here somewhere.
It's worth it.
It
It's
is
worth
100%
Go-
worth
go,
finding.
Go track it down. We'll put it up on the screen for the YouTube listeners or the YouTube watchers.
I mean, it's not even like a foul. Like, he assaults me.
10 losses this season, by the way. 10 losses in your 16 appearances.
Yeah.
Rough
yeah.
one.
Rough season for sure. It's in my camera roll. This is always the worst trying to find stuff. Sorry for the delay, folks.
Anything for the content.
And we're not even. We're still in Atlanta. At this
We're still in
point.
Atlanta. We've
Your
got,
under has gotten taken for found it. Nice.
Oh, yeah, we've smashed the over. It's
Okay.
we're at 51 minutes
you
right
just
now.
you go play that for yourself.
Okay. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Cracked my head open. Had to get taped up.
No way.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? Ref didn't call foul.
What?
The ref did not call a foul for that.
Oh, I'm rewinding. I'm
Yeah,
watching
go
again.
for it. Show the listeners at home as well.
Oh my gosh. Well, just go ahead and text that to me so that we'll put it up on the
Yeah,
screen.
yeah, I gotcha.
And you can watch that. They'll have already watched that live with me. That's incredible.
Don't have
stuff.
your number saved, to be honest.
Oh
You have to
wow.
Not good about saving the numbers.
Man. Exposed.
Yeah.
Live
Sorry,
live on the pod. That's crazy.
Okay, yeah.
Dang, he posted that on his Instagram?
Yeah. And I remember just being like, really not cool. I wasn't gonna like comment or anything because I was the one who got walked over, but and I was like, it wasn't like it was like, oh, like big hit, nice. It was like I was on the ground dying, like
Yeah.
blood's coming out of my head and stuff. I did finish the game out, but I definitely was concussed for sure.
Wow.
And then, super tired coming off that year, and they gave me like Tony Ann was like, oh, you're gonna have a week before you basically when you play with the second team when you're younger, play with the second team the whole year, and then you just go back to the academy. Like,
Yeah.
and he's like, okay, you'll have a week. And I remember like being with my friend like hanging out, and they got a text like 2 days later like, hey, can you come to the game? I was like, well, I guess I'm back in.
Yeah.
Straight into the next U19 season,
Oh.
and arguably the best season of my life. I had, if I remember correctly, I had like 25 goals and like 20 assists
Oh.
across like 20 games.
Those stats don't exist anywhere, so I can't
Yeah,
corroborate
yeah.
that.
Well,
but-
I've got a highlight reel on YouTube. Might be private, but all of them are on there. So
Okay.
quite a few bangers as well.
Okay.
It was the first year. It was weird. So MLS Next, the first year was kind of like not great. We
yeah.
played some teams that were shocking. I had a game where I scored 4 goals and 3 assists. So like,
okay, yeah.
there's a reason I had a lot of goals.
You were
but-
stat padding a little bit. Yeah.
but there was some good games too. Like I scored a goal and an assist against Revs in the playoffs. It was like quite nice. A couple good games like that, but I like definitely came into my own in terms of like scoring, and that's when I kind of like moved. Well, I did in professionally as well, play on the wing quite a bit with Atlanta too. But in the academy, I'd still been a 10, and then that year I really switched over to winger and really found like form in terms of scoring.
Yeah.
And played with under Rodrigo, who was amazing.
Who is still at Austin FC, by the way. I
Really,
looked it up,
great guy.
Yeah.
I can't speak highly enough of him as well. That was a good team too. I mean, we had Caleb Wiley was on that team. Efrain Morales.
Oh my gosh.
Who else? Will Riley, Johnny Fortune.
You had all those guys playing on a U19 academy
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
No wonder you were beating
Matt
up on
Edwards, who's on
people.
the first team now. Brendan Lamb, who
okay.
plays at Virginia.
Yeah.
David Mejia played a couple of years pro. not sure where he's at now, but he's at Miami last year.
Yeah.
Like an unreal team, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like we walked teams. So that was a great year. And going off of that is when people started like to pay attention, I guess, in terms of like agents and Atlanta United. And around then, Atlanta United started like offering professional deals kind of with the second team and options to the first team and stuff. And
You would have turned
I was
17.
I was 17 turning 18 that year. Like, I'm a November birthday, so
Yeah.
half the year I would have been 17, half the year I would have been 18.
Yeah.
Which was definitely, like, I was a little older coming, Tyler Wolf started with the first team and stuff. And
Yeah.
But I started definitely to, like, find my feet around then. And definitely got offered a couple, like, second team deals with, like, options to go first team. At this point, haven't signed with an agent or anything, but quite a few were talking to me. And I'm adamant that, like, I am ready to... I was, like, so focused on going to Europe at the time. Like, I didn't want to stay in Atlanta, to be honest. Like, they were amazing for me. And it didn't end as well as I would have liked, to be honest. Mostly my fault, to be honest. I was a kid, and I made, a lot of decisions, and I listened to a lot of agents, for sure. And so I kind of, like, committed to joining an agent and was, like, look for trials for me in Europe, kind of.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's halfway through the year of, like, 17 or 19's football, so I'm not with the second team yet. Like, maybe preseason, but in Indiana, who I'm committed to, who I've mentioned, committed to Indiana my second year in the academy.
Oh, okay.
First year in the academy.
Okay.
I was a junior in high school, and I
Okay.
committed to go to Indiana. Amazing program,
Yeah.
amazing people, Todd Yeagley and stuff. Also didn't end as well as I would have liked on my part, because they asked me to come mid-year. And some players join like at the spring season.
Yeah, they enroll early and do the
Yeah.
spring season so that you're ready for the fall.
They invited me to do that, and at that point I'm having a great academy year, and I'm like, I'm gonna stay and finish this year and get to play pro games in Atlanta United too.
Yeah.
Still have committed to Indiana at the point, and still planning on going because I hadn't gotten offered anything that I was interested in yet. But I was definitely more focused on going pro, and probably could have been. I mean, it's hard to be open about that when you're still wanting to hold on to your scholarship in case something happens, when you have to go to college.
Yeah. So all this was prior to your first year with Atlanta United too? Or
No,
your
this is
second
after
year?
my first year,
After your
going
first
into my
year.
second.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's tough because you kind of you do have to play the game a little bit.
A little bit, which sucks because you're taking up their money,
Yeah.
And they'd, given me a decent deal and stuff. And I mean, we're great. Like, I went on my visit. Like, as soon as eligibility opened, they kind of started talking to me. And then they were the first school I visited, and they offered me then and there. It was, honestly, like, it would have been a great match. And I think back now, and I'm like, I would have had so much fun if I had gone there.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, wouldn't trade anything. But, and so at that point, they asked me to come. I'm talking to agents. I start playing with the second team for the second year. And Atlanta United are kind of like, I wouldn't say pressuring, a little bit, like, to sign. It's like...
Yeah.
You got to make a decision. Either you're saying you're going to college, and that's okay with us.
Yeah.
Or you're signing with us, but this Europe thing is like not, like you're our player.
Yeah.
We're gonna make any team that you go to pay for you, like in training compensation.
Yeah. We want to lock you down guaranteed for a few years.
And like they developed me, fair enough. And at the time it was Carlos Bocanegra, who didn't handle it very well either, for sure. And I kind of. It became a little fragmented in that Carlos was telling the second team after a few games, like, you can't play him if he's not going to sign. Like, we should develop other... Fair enough. Like, we should develop other players. Like, he can stay and train, but he's not going to play for our second team if he's not going to sign. And so I trained for, like, a couple months while I'm just waiting for a deal or, like, a trial to come through.
Yeah.
And at the end of July, I've been training for, like, 2 months, and I'm like, I can't just keep training at this point. Like, it's... absurd. Scored a couple goals in between that. Tulsa, SKC, a couple of nice goals. But and so I leave the academy fully. Like, at this point, it was probably a week after everyone else left for college. So it was like Will Riley, all those guys I grew up with playing, were like starting a new segment of their life. Like Will went to Stanford. Everyone's leaving. All my friends from high school gone. They're going to college. I'm like, I'm just here in my parents' basement playing for, like, obviously I'm playing soccer, but it feels very stagnant.
Yeah, important to note too. Like, you'd gone to IMG like lived like on your own for 2 years, and you've come back and like been living back with your parents again, which is like a transition in and of itself.
Tough transition
Yeah, I'm
on
sure.
both of our parts.
Yeah.
Definitely, I was a bit reckless, and definitely they wanted a little more control.
A bit
at the time.
reckless? You don't say.
No. You've only heard the tip of it.
Yeah.
But, some poor decision making on my part at the time for sure.
Yeah.
But it was.
But that context is important as you like talk about this
hard
decision you're
transition,
making. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And my first year in the academy, this kid from Chargers named Landon Amarez came and lived with my family for the first year, and we'd like a kind of like an apartment above the garage type, and he was like my best friend at the time, like such a good dude, still good friends with him, which really helped because it was like kind of IMG-esque, where it's like, I have my parents there, but I'm basically living in his apartment, we're playing Fortnite all night, doing dumb stuff, sneaking out and stuff, but it's great at the time. And then he kind of was homesick and kind of tired of Atlanta's Academy and went back to Chargers. And so then it's just me and my family again, and it's like, obviously I love them to death and they've been amazing, but it was definitely a tough period because it's like I wanted freedom for sure, and it kind of coincided with being a kid at home still.
Yeah.
And so I was definitely ready to go do something, and so I left Atlanta's Academy and really waited for quite a while. Because I left in the end of July probably, and I didn't leave for trials until September. So there was like a month where I was just training my own, like just waiting. Brutal period. And then my agent called and was like, we have a trial with Venezia, who this club, actually John used to work there.
Yeah.
And Patrick Leo played there.
Yeah.
And at the time, it's
not
funny.
Not at the same time as any of them though. Were you there?
Very full circle moment.
Oh, okay.
When I went on trial, Patrick Leo was on trial there.
Oh.
And we were roommates.
Oh shit.
Yeah. The accommodations, I will tell you, were far from good. We were basically I don't even know how to describe the place we were living in. It was like a church. And then there was rooms that were 2 beds that were twins beds that were probably as close as we are. Probably closer actually.
Yeah.
It was you were sleeping with someone basically. And I was with this Bosnian kid for 2 weeks. He didn't speak a word of English. And I'm 5 inches from this kid. Super awkward. And, I played decent, and then I moved to Patrick Leal's room because it was, an American. He was cool, so
yeah.
Worked out better, and we had some fun there for sure, exploring Venice and stuff, and I was probably there for almost a month. And at this point, everyone's like, dude, this is the longest trial of all time. What's happening?
Were you on trial with the first team? Or with
the Primavera at the time.
With the Primavera, yeah. That's what I thought.
And, they're like, are you going to sign? What's going on, man? And then,
Yeah.
And the head scout, Alex, had been gone the whole time, in Iceland scouting.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, man. The scout's not even here looking at me. So ooh, I don't know. Come to the end, my agent calls me and is like, yeah, they're not going to sign you. And I'm like, probably should have known by the fact that I was there for a month.
Yeah. Shocker.
Yeah, shocker. And at this point, I'm like, I'm getting out of here. I'm not sleeping at the church anymore.
Yeah.
And funny, that day, my sister had moved to Milan. That very day that he'd called me. So I called my dad, and I'm like, yeah, well, they didn't sign me. And he's like, oh, you can go stay with Peyton in Milan, because Venice is a couple-hour train ride from Milan.
Okay.
And my sister's not even moved in yet. She's getting there as I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I'm like, coming to live with you, in a studio apartment.
Is this an older sister or younger
Yeah,
sister?
she's 5 years older than me.
Okay.
And
what was she doing in Milan?
she was on a Fulbright scholarship. I don't know if you know what that is.
I don't know.
It's you get a stipend and a certain amount of money to study in a different country, and they pay for everything.
Oh, I've heard of this. Cool.
Yeah. And so she went over and was studying something for the Fulbright. Sorry, don't remember. And I show up on her doorstep, and I'm like, yeah, I'm living with you in a 150 square foot apartment. No air mattress to begin with, just sleeping on the floor at first. And
here's a sheet and a pillow.
In this tiny apartment in Milan. And I don't know how she dealt with it, to be honest. I was a 18-year-old kid at the time,
Yeah.
And I'm just on the floor, and she's having to deal with me, and I was probably a bit of a dick at the time as well, because things hadn't gone that well. And the point I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be a couple days, and I'm going to go somewhere else, because this is what my agent's telling me at the time, yeah, you're going to be here I'll have another thing worked out.
Yeah.
Cut to nearly 2 months later, and I'm still on the floor. It'd been 7 weeks. Yeah.
What are you doing during this time? Just training at the local park, or?
Well, there were quite a few stories from this time, but I was originally, I don't have a car either. Like, I have nothing, no transport.
Yeah.
I don't speak Italian. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I have to train. Like, I have to stay fit and stuff. And so I'm biking on, like, one of those Uber bikes, you know, like those lines, like 8 miles outside the city to get to a field that I'd, like, randomly found on Google Maps looking for, like, green.
Yeah.
And I'm climbing through a hole in the fence to go train there.
Yeah.
And I'm getting kicked out, like, every day because they're like, you can't train here. Like, this is a private field. And so I start showing up at, like, 5 a.m. I've got to set an alarm in the morning for, like, 5 and then go to the park and, like, sneak through the hole in the fence before they get there. And then, you know, the Italian guy comes, and I'm running away. I just go to my bike. And I'm, like, going for runs. And this is actually when I started to, like, enjoy running a little bit. I'd go for, like, a 3-mile run. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Stay fit. And eventually they're like, you can't come back to this field, man. We've seen you so many times. And I remember I showed up, and there were, like, a bunch of crackheads, like, at the entrance to where I, like, sneak in. And I was like, this isn't working. And so I started going to, like, the local park that was, like, near my sister's place, and I would shoot against, like, a tree. Like, it was ridiculous, man. Like, I didn't, like, this is why, in part, the next part didn't really work out, because I was not training. Like, I was training, but I was not training.
Yeah.
I was doing, like, core in my sister's apartment, like, absolute grind. And I'm losing my mind at this point. Like, I'm calling my agent every day, like, and of course he's not picking up at this point.
And your sister's probably losing her mind right now, too.
God, yeah. That was probably much tougher on her than it was on me.
Yeah.
And now I look back and it's, like, so funny. And, like, honestly, like, if I'd gone back, it would have been amazing. Just, like, I'm in Italy for 2 months. Like, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
It's great. I've got a free place to stay. But at the time, it was, like, devastating. And I finally get a trial with Augsburg, which is a team in the Bundesliga. Their second team, which plays in the 3rd division in Germany, because they do the same, like, used to be here, was, like, USL championship teams.
Sure.
They play in the, like, lower divisions. And I went, and I remember getting, like, sent the schedule, and it was for 1 day. I was like, that's a little weird. I was like, because my agent was like, yeah, they want to take a good look at you. And I show up, and I do force plate monitoring, which is, like, you know, they test your jumps. I do a sprint test. I do gym. And that's the first morning session. That's it. Didn't even touch the ball for the first morning session. Come in for the afternoon. We must have trained for 45 minutes, maybe. Like, it was like the drill where, like, you do 2v2, 3v3, like, you attack, and a passing drill. That was it. That was the whole training session, because we had just done the morning session.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like, didn't touch the ball very much, but, like, whatever, I'll be back tomorrow.
Nope.
Agents at dinner, like, one of the agents from the Germany branch, he's like, yeah, they don't want you. And I'm like, did I play that bad in 45 minutes? Like, surely they couldn't have seen something that bad. Like,
surely there's some potential, right?
Like, wow. And, I forgot as well. I walked in, and my friend had the exact same experience who went to Germany as well. They're like, oh, you're here for trial? Yeah. And they give me a bag, like, clothing. I'm like, nice, kits. I look inside. 1 extra small travel polo, 1 sock, a pair of youth shorts, not even extra small shorts, youth shorts that are, like, I mean, up to here, like,
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not going outside in this. Like, and so everyone goes out to train, and I just had to, like, steal some other kid's stuff, because I was like, there is no chance I'm putting on this clothing and going outside, like, my extra small travel polo.
Yeah.
And then the coach, like, sees me, he's like, oh, nice to meet you. Perfect English. The rest of the training session, he'd come up to me, and he'd just start speaking in German. Like, I know you speak English, and you just spoke English to me, so why don't you just... And he'd be like, oh, and then he'd just walk away. And I was like, well, that... And so,
well,
in hindsight, I was like, I should have known. They were not... The ones, like, that was 1 day.
Yeah.
And the agent's like, yeah, I'm going to drop you off at the airport. And the next day, like, the next morning. At this point, I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. Like, my travel visa's up at this point, like, as well. Like, it's been almost 3 months. I'm sitting in the airport. I haven't heard back from my agent in the U.S. yet. Arguably the most heartbreaking moment of my life. Like, I'm breaking down in the airport. People are walking by and, like, what is wrong with this guy? Like, but in my mind, like, I had come off probably the best year of my, like, soccer in my life. I had been so, like, arguably a little egotistical at the time, but, like, so cocky and, like, so ready for, like, you know, the pro soccer world and stuff. And, like, gotten absolutely rocked as soon as I got into it. Like, and I think, like, my career's, like, over at this point. Like, it's been, like, months I haven't played. Like, I've been thrown around. Like, I'm sitting in the airport. I don't even know where I'm going. Like, and so I have to, like, get COVID tested in the airport, because, like, you can't fly without a COVID test at this point. I have to book a flight that day spent like $3,000 on a flight back to the U.S. because nothing else. I had to fly like first class back to New York because it was the only thing leaving that day. I come back to like I had a layover. It was like 18 hours in Newark, and I just slept on the floor, like horrible. I get back home and it's just like heartbreaking. Like I'm back exactly where I started like 3 months ago with nothing, just being turned down. Like one of the harder moments in my life for sure. Like because like where do you go from there, kind of? And so I I already turned down stuff from Atlanta. Like that's dead. Like nothing left really. And so I like start training again. And I'm just like waiting, like what's gonna happen, kind of. And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I'm done. Like, I'm not going back to Europe. Like, done in terms of, like, I don't want to go back to Europe. Like, just find me a deal so I can play.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I'll sign at any MLS, like, team in the nation at this point.
Yeah.
And so, I actually worked out pretty well because Columbus come in and they want me for their, like, starting a second team because MLS Next Pro is starting that year.
Yep.
And Atlanta United is, like, making it very hard, interestingly. Like, they valued me more than I realized, I guess, because they're asking for, like, an unbelievable amount of money. And so it's, like, months of them, like, from November to January, they're negotiating, basically. And, like, Atlanta's not really budging much, and then Columbus is like, well, like, what are we going to do, kind of? And so they kind of back off, and then Atlanta comes back, and it's like, well, And so, in the end, they worked out a deal that was... They would pay like a lot. I'm not going to break down the numbers or anything, but a lot for when I went to the first team with Columbus. Like, they worked out a deal for my first team rights, basically.
Got it.
Which didn't need to be paid until I made my debut for the first team.
Yeah.
Which obviously didn't happen. So I go to Columbus and go to preseason with the first team when Caleb Porter's the coach, and had, coming off like the best I've ever played probably. Like, so good. At this point, I'm delusional, but I'm like, first team signing me.
Yeah. It's like, I'm so back. We're so back.
It had been like months without a team, and I'm like, I'm that guy. Like, this is it. I came on against Inter Miami, like, got an assist. We played the Granada national team, scored one of the best goals I've ever scored in my life, got an assist. There's like two first like preseasons.
Where were you in preseason?
We were at Miami's training facility down in Fort Lauderdale. That's
great because I was on Charlotte FC's PR staff at the time, and we
played.
We were doing preseason at IMG.
Okay.
And the first ever Charlotte FC preseason game was against Granada national team.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why I was like, oh, were you at IMG?
They were terrible, by the way. Bad.
Yeah, I think Charlotte FC won like 4-0 or something.
Yeah. We similarly like 5 or something.
Yeah.
I'll still keep that goal in my heart, And so they broke it into like 2 periods of preseason, and it was like the first one was there, and then the second one, and it was 4 second team guys. I think it was me, this guy JT Kamara, Justin Malou, who plays in NCFC now, might be injured, and Abdi Mohammed, who's at Oakland, and then they went to a second preseason in Charleston, called Challenger Cup, I believe.
Oh my gosh, I'm from South Carolina. I grew up going to Challenger Cup.
Yep.
Like as a kid, I grew up going to that preseason tournament.
Yeah. And it was definitely like more just the first team for that point. But they brought me and Justin because we'd done well. And we go to that one. We play Coastal Carolina in a scrimmage.
Nice.
Got another assist to Josh Zardes.
Nice.
Pivotal moment in my career.
Yeah.
Assist against Coastal Carolina.
To Josh Zardes.
Yeah. And at this point, I'm like, man, I'm flying. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we're playing bad teams, but
I'm doing what I can.
I can't do any better. So, and then going in, I was there for a game at Challenger Cup and didn't play because, they're properly playing their starters now, and they're playing like 90 minutes. At the moment, I'm devastated because I'm like, I should be playing, but I'm like, what were you thinking, man? And Caleb was, it's funny, absolutely great to me. Some people don't like him very much, but he was the best to me. Like, always would call me over and like to speak to me, and was just like so nice. And it's funny because like I don't know, he's got an interesting reputation for sure around other people, but honestly amazing with me. And he called me over like in the hotel after the second game, and was like, you're not going to get any minutes. Like, we're in proper, like, they're going to play 90. And Yao Yaboa had just come in, who was also my position. They bought for, like, a bunch of money, and he was making, like, $800K or something.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I get that. And so he's like, we're going to send you back because there's a game against the second team against Chicago's second team. And, like, we want you to get minutes. But, like, you haven't played yourself out of the picture in any way. Like, you've played great. And, like, so I fly back, play in that game. Did pretty well. I don't remember if we got an assist or something, but and then I'm high again. Like, I'm feeling good. And then that year, like, it was hard. Like, it was much harder than I expected. Like, I kind of expected to kind of be the guy. And we've got Jason Russell Rowe.
Yeah.
We've got arguably the best MLS Next Pro team ever. Like, ever.
That team was so good. You had Patrick Schulte in goal, who's now the first team goalkeeper for
Isaiah
Columbus.
Parente, Sean Zadwatsky.
Mohamed Farsi at wing back.
Farsi, Philip Quinton,
Yeah.
Justin Malou, Abdi, Jake Morris, like, and we would call down first team guys like Alex Matan, who was like a big player for them.
Yeah.
Played with us like a lot.
Yeah.
Aiden Morris played a few games with us. Like,
Yeah.
we were getting like
Laurent Courtois is coaching, by the way, who goes on to coach CF Montreal with some decent
coach.
success. Like,
and definitely like it was like another wake up call of like, like you haven't made it yet by any means, and like
yeah, like there's a lot of talented players in this team. Yeah.
And it's like I was still training with the first team a lot, but like I wasn't even necessarily starting every game for the second team at this point. Like, we got Marco Micheletto as well, who's our captain. Fantastic guy. Plays the Colorado Switchbacks now. And it was hard to, like, start games there, honestly. Like, much harder than I would have expected. And occasionally I've got to play out of position and stuff. Like, 'cause we're playing a 3-4-3. So I've got to play, like, wing back kind of sometimes. Like, I'm not that great at that and stuff. And interesting year, for sure. But a learning year, definitely. And then we go on to win everything, and I scored in the 120 minutes of the Eastern Conference Final.
You want to watch the goal?
Yeah,
let's watch the goal.
That one's electric. So.
This is electric stuff. I mean, hold on. Let me before I play this goal. The context of this goal is that it's the Eastern Conference Final, the semifinal of the inaugural MLS Next Pro. You guys were up 2-1. They equalized on a direct free kick in the 93rd minute. To make it 2-2.
And I'm on the field at this point. I've just come on. Like, I didn't start this game. And I'm like, holy shit. I came on. We're going to lose. Like,
And then you go to overtime, and they score 4 minutes in to go 3-2.
3-2 in overtime. And it's like,
you're like, it's
we've got
over.
a great team.
Yeah.
And, like, we think, I think, like, obviously everyone's like, we knew we were going to win. I was like, dude, we're down 3-2 in overtime. Like, this is insane.
Bad. You guys equalized with 11 minutes left.
Jordan Knight, what a finish.
Yeah, great finish.
Quality from him.
Great finish. And then it's the 119th minute. 3-3, kind of like staring penalties in the face.
Yeah.
I don't know who number 9 is here.
First of all, before you say this.
Yeah.
Every time we go down the field, I'm begging. If not me, someone scores. Because I'm like, I don't want to take a pen. Like,
you didn't want to take one.
No, man. I came onto the game, and I'm like, I'm okay at pins, so like I'm like they're gonna make me take one.
Yeah.
But like I'm not in a flow. Like this is the highest pressure game I've ever played in. Like I'm like, let's just end it, man. Someone score, please.
And then who's number 9 here? Who's
Noah
playing
Fuson?
Noah Fuson.
What a player for Rhode Island.
I mean, what a play here. We'll play
cuts through about 4 players.
Yeah. Just
chops through them, man.
He deserves this goal.
Sells the clip.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, clean up job for
electric,
sure.
though. Absolutely electric.
Couldn't have been better. Look at the movement, just standing there waiting.
Yeah.
I know where the ball's coming for sure. waiting. I'm screaming at this guy, leave it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude, you gotta get the celebration's not in there. That's
the celebration's not in there. I'll go try to find a clip, and we'll put a clip of the celebration on.
I jumped into the crowd.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh,
everyone's
no way.
like running around. Like, at this point, like, the game's over, man. Like, people are running on the field. Our coaching staff, our kit man's, like, on the field.
Yeah.
And then it's like, dude, we still got a couple...
We still have to see the game out. Yeah. It's not like golden goal or anything.
Best moment of my career by far.
Oh.
Yeah. The adrenaline of that will never disappear.
We'll see. I'll see if I can find a clip of the celebration. They cut the highlights off there for no reason. Good reason. But and then you guys go on to beat St. Louis City in the final 4-1.
Waxed them.
You subbed on, but like the game was already over by the time you subbed on. You're just seeing the game out at that point. And just absolutely cruised through.
Yeah. Great. I mean, that team was... There was something special about that. I don't know. Like, there was just so... we would go into every game like we were just going to walk over whoever we were playing. I think we beat Cincinnati 9-0.
Yeah. Oh, you did. Yeah, I saw that.
Highest score ever in MLS Next Pro. It's like
and it's obviously the Cincinnati Columbus rivalry is pretty heated, so there's a little bit extra to that as well. Yeah.
Oh, they were never very good at MLS Next Pro.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was the final game of the season. So you guys rocked into playoffs off of a 9-0 win.
Rochester and played. Actually, Dolabella was on that team that played on the other team.
Oh yeah, Pedro Dolabella for NCFC.
Yeah. Jabron Rayo as well came to our team the next year.
This is like a real big when you look at this team, because often when you look at these second teams, you go, oh look, like there's 3 or 4 guys I recognize. Like there's 3 or 4 guys that kind of made like the USL championship. Maybe one,
the USL.
And maybe one guy made it to MLS from there. But you look at this team, and it's
everyone.
like the entire team is
even our
playing.
subs were USL championship players.
Yeah, exactly.
It was insane, honestly.
What a team.
What a team. And it's funny now, like, looking back at Atlanta United too, like, very similarly, like,
Yeah, that Atlanta United 2 team
guess
was
I've played on a
stacked
lot
as well.
of stacked teams,
Yeah,
honestly.
you've played for some really good teams.
Yeah.
Okay, so that season ends.
Yeah.
You obviously end on the high of winning a title.
4 goals, I believe. 3
Yeah,
or 2 assists.
think so. Let me look. I have
Decent,
it.
like, okay numbers for some
You scored
League
five.
One.
You scored 5 goals.
5 goals.
5 goals.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Take it.
4 goals in the regular season plus the playoff goal.
There we
So
go.
5 goals.
Like that for someone
across
coming on, like take
across
that.
18 appearances.
I think I
is
had
like,
9 starts as well.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a good return,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
And I think it's important to note that like that season of MLS Next Pro was a little different.
That was different.
2022 and
That
even
was, yeah.
2023, like
Both
they
of
were
those years,
really really competitive MLS,
Yeah.
and that was
I mean, there was
I mean,
USL championship players in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's gotten worse, but those years specifically were unbelievable.
Yeah, pretty electric.
And it was funny because leaving, like not after that year, but the year after, MLS Next Pro had like a very bad reputation, I guess, because like our team, it was hard for players to find contracts. Like guy Stuart Ritchie, like one of my best friends,
Yeah.
ended up going to like USL 1, should be in USL Championship for sure. But like a lot of guys couldn't find teams, and it was like we were the best team in MLS Next Pro. So it's like how like people didn't respect it, and then everyone that went on like to play was a starter for their team. Like
Yeah.
I came into Las Vegas Lights, Noah Fuson went to Rhode Island, like Jacob Irwinson went to Loudon, Marco Micheletti went to New Mexico.
Yeah.
And everyone like, and it was kind of like it kind of showed people that MLS Next Pro could be good also, but that at the time like it was like there was a lot of good players there.
But teams took it seriously, and they went
They
and got
invested.
like experienced pros that were like ready to make the next
Yes.
step almost immediately.
It was like they were
so-
pulling players from USL to go to MLS Next Pro.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to build a team.
Yeah.
And now they realize kind of like partially that it's, you're not getting any return on your investment, but because no one's coming to the games.
Yeah.
But they just play the entire academy team. Like if you look at Columbus Crew 2's roster now, they have like a few signed guys, and they're guys they signed out of the academy. Like they don't.
Yeah.
They're not bringing in a Marco Micheletti to play for them anymore.
Yeah.
And like no team is. So.
Yeah, and the whole point was to give like that bridge from the academy, because
Absolutely.
it's like, okay, you're playing for the U17s, you're not ready to be in first team training yet. You need a
Exactly.
bridge environment, but I don't know that MLS Next Pro is really providing that anymore. It's
And
just kind of glorified U19s.
That was the argument for the USL Championship when we would play like Atlanta United 2 Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Real Monarchs won the league one year.
Yeah, the Real Monarchs were good back in the day.
They had to invest in their teams, and like they had to play real players, and it created an environment where young players would come up, but it was by no means an academy league. Like you weren't ready for that level, and then you like adapted to it, and then when you went to train with the first team, you'd already dealt with older men. But it was tough because you can't have a league. You can't have every MLS team have a team in USL.
Yeah.
Which is like there were only a few who had it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it worked for those teams that did have it. But everyone else kind of needed a system for.
Yeah.
And it was funny, after COVID is when I believe MLS Next Pro is starting to get talked about, because I remember getting a call from our director and being like, U19 football might fold this year, but like there's going to be an MLS 2, and like if that happens, then we're going to sign you. So I always kind of knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But then they started it, and it was great the first couple of years, but just couldn't keep up, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so then you go into the second season, right? And you played even more. 24 appearances across that. You got 6 goals, 5 assists.
Yeah.
You were sort of central to this Crew 2 team in year 2. Were you back in first team preseason ahead of that season, or
No, I was not.
Okay, yeah.
So Caleb Porter obviously did not stay in Columbus.
Yep.
They didn't make playoffs, and so he got sacked and ended up in New England, where they're doing pretty well, I think, right now. I don't know. Had a rough year last year, but Nancy took over. Obviously, coaches have their own preferences and such.
Yeah.
Don't think I trained with them once that year, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I was playing much better that year than I did
Yeah.
the year before, but, can't complain, to be honest,
Yeah.
whatever.
Was that was Wilfred Nancy not bringing up as many guys first team training, or you just weren't
For
part
sure,
of
that as well, but also I think that first year I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
They looked at me like, oh, we could see you being first team guy. I think there was a switch in the second year where it's more like you're a guy who's like setting the standard for the second team in a way for the kids who are coming up, like, me, Noah, Abdi, Marco, like all those guys, Jacob, like definitely were the core group of like setting the standard kind of for the younger guys as opposed to getting minutes with the first team. I think Noah got to make his debut in the Open Cup, but no one else really got any PT. And I think they definitely started to realize that they needed to bring up more youth players to make it sustainable in terms of like return on investment and getting them into the first team and then possibly selling them or whatever happens. But yeah, and so that was an interesting year because there were definitely moments where, like, straight up, like, people would say, like, or the coaching staff or whatever would be like, yeah, we have to. Before it was like, you're not going to play because, like, we have to play the first team guys that are coming down.
Yeah.
This year was like, we have to play the academy guys that are coming up. Like, we're required. Like, so there were tough moments of that for sure.
Where it doesn't feel on merit as much.
And I get it. Like, I was that guy. There was probably guys on the bench for the United too that were, like, maybe older and more experienced. Not necessarily better, I don't know, but, like, I was getting preferential treatment for sure. And so I could definitely see that. And I was like, I get it, like, whatever. But I still had a good year, and we made it to the final, so.
Yeah, made it to the final of the year, lost to Valentine Noel's Austin
and Joe Hafferty, who were about to play.
And Joe Hafferty.
And Dennis Sanchez was the assistant coach.
Dennis Sanchez was the assistant coach.
Probably why I ended up here.
Yeah?
I mean, Dennis knew of me.
Dennis
so,
had seen you in that game. And you guys beat Crown Legacy FC in the first round, right? In the second round that year? Away.
That is the deepest block you've ever seen in your
life.
Were you there?
I was at that game.
No way.
I was at that game because
you remember
so there was a whole joke that year because I was working for Charlotte FC at the time. That was the second year of MLS Next Pro, and Crown Legacy were good that year. They were
not good. They were insane.
They were disgusting. That was
Patrick
Ajiman,
Tavares.
Yeah, Yuri Tavares.
Cambridge.
Yeah, Brendan Cambridge was lighting the league on fire.
The Pedro guy in back.
Yeah. They had a couple Brazilians to their backs that were nasty. Yeah.
And the rumor going around
João Pedro was playing.
They had bought in the guy for like $2 million or $1 million bucks for the second team.
Nikola Pekovic. Yeah, he's playing for the first team now, but they paid $3 million for him, and he was playing
we were
for the
like,
second team.
What?
We were like, this is a $3 million player. What the heck?
Yeah. And like we had gone from like being the best team by far.
Yeah.
And at this point, we're like, they're better than us.
Because I remember there was a whole joke in our Charlotte FC front office because it was like a whole thing because Crown Legacy couldn't lose games that year.
Yeah.
And there was a whole joke we were calling them like America's team. Like, oh, they're America's team. Like, they can't lose. Like, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And then you guys rocked in playoffs and just literally sat in on top of your own 18 for 90 minutes.
I'm not gonna lie, that was a personal game, yeah.
Smash and grab 1-0 win. Just like soul crushing on the Charlotte FC side.
And Charlotte, not to hate on you guys, but they had been a bit like, they were a bit too big for their shoes.
Oh, we were throwing some social team was throwing some trash talking around. Like, it was like
hold up, guys. Like, we are the reigning champions.
Yeah.
You think you're coming in, and the whole week, man, we worked on diagonally shifting. Like, we were. It was not like we went in. We're like, wow, like, that didn't go like we planned. We were like, we are going to sit so deep. Like, we want one goal. That is it.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, our coaching staff really did not like their coaching staff for some reason. The guy with the hat. What is his name?
Yeah,
he seemed like an okay guy, but
he's a great guy.
He seemed like really nice. Like,
he's
from
a great guy.
Unbiased standpoint, I was like, he seemed like a fine guy. But our coaching staff disliked him.
Yeah. I feel horrible for forgetting his name right now because I've spent a lot of time with him, but I'll find his name. But so there was some bad blood on the coaching side. Jose Tavares. Yeah,
that's it.
And
I think that they thought, like we were gonna be walked over, like, and I also think they thought like we were gonna play Crew 2 football, where it's like, we keep the ball, we build out, we play pretty football,
which is what they would have wanted you to do because they would have because they would have had a field day with that.
We'll never know, but that is not what we did.
And that's what Patrick Ajiman does as well. Like, they just wanted to get him in the channel.
We did not want to leave space for that guy. That's for sure. And Tavares, he was arguably better than Ajiman that year.
Yeah, he scored so many goals that year.
And Parebo was a class player.
Yeah, he is, and went to Chicago. I think he's still Chicago
Fire.
Fire.
Towards ACL though, but he's signed for the first team.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good guy.
Yeah, Noah Fuson scored in the second half.
Yeah, man.
And we brought it home.
Oh, dude, what is it? Yeah, 50th minute. I remember because that's like right when you want to get that goal. Come out of second half, you got a breakaway goal, and it was like, oh my god. I remember too. Like, the bench cleared for that goal. It was opposite corner. Whole bench was down there, and we were like, screw these guys.
We sung with our fans after the game.
Yeah.
Those fans were some of the most committed fans I've ever seen. Like, they would travel to all the away games.
It's
like,
awesome.
The Crew 2 is something, man. Like, they captured lightning in a bottle for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then going in, like, Colorado, Austin was the other side. And Austin was, like, heavy underdog. They've been away the entire time. And, like, we're praying Austin wins because we're like, we want to play at home again.
Yeah.
And, like, we didn't really get to play in lower.com that much. But every time we played a final, they'd be like, you can play in lower.com, kind of.
Yeah.
Which is the first team stadium.
Yeah. which is a really great stadium, by the way.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Historic is still a nice stadium. Like, it's big, but it's turf. So there's like the old Crew Stadium, which we played in, and then they had the new one. And so Austin actually manages to grab a win against Colorado. Maybe in Pens, I don't know. But I think it was. And so we're like, holy shit, we're hosting the final again. Yeah. And after last year, like, that was like such a good day, you know, like we won the final, we went out afterwards to like the only club in Columbus band break. You know, we've got bottles coming. It's probably like, it's nothing compared to Vegas.
Columbus is a college town. It's an Ohio State, so you're just going to the college bars, essentially.
Well, it was a rooftop, but
excuse me.
Watch your mouth about Columbus.
I like Columbus. I like the Columbus away trip when I was in Charlotte.
It's a fun place.
Yeah, it is a good place.
And so,
I feel like it gets a lot of hate, but I feel like it's actually kind of...
Ohio in general does. And
but
I definitely was on that when I was there. But having lived in Vegas, no, I'm kidding. Vegas is great. But Columbus was like a town where a small town vibe in a bigger town. You know, like you knew a lot of people, like, and that was, like, people knew of the crew, and, so, that was really nice. Yeah. And so they set up the final, and I remember, like, we had meetings, like, about, like what was going on, and they were kind of, like, when we win, and, like, they were, like, talking about, like, the photo booth, like, after the game, like, when we win, and where the party will be after we win, and I remember sitting there being, like, this isn't how it was last year. Like, you know, we got to win the game, man. I think we sounding
a little familiar to how we were with Crown Legacy. Like, because we were like, you know, just another game. Like, this is only the quarterfinals. Like, we were like planning, like, okay, if we go on the road, if we're gonna do this watch party, and like hopefully we're, you know what I mean? Like, I think, you're like doing all this stuff. You know,
we heard you had already printed stuff that said Eastern Conference like champions or something like this.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that.
We had heard that something had been printed that and, like, we really did not like that. That was the biggest thing, actually, is, like, that we'd heard, like, a bunch of shit had already been printed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember there being stuff printed, but the only important thing was that you guys believed that there had been some stuff that was printed.
Whoever spread that rumor was well done. And so I think we definitely went into that a little too, you know, overzealous maybe or whatever. And Austin had a good team.
It was a good team, and they were hot too.
They were really hot. Like for them, they couldn't lose. Like I remember talking to Val and Joe and those guys, and it was like coming into playoffs, they were getting like destroyed. They had the worst run of games ever.
Yeah, they were so bad.
Like, they were going in like they were one of the top teams. Like they were going to be home seed.
Yeah, and
they lost like every game and lost and like barely scraped into playoffs.
Did they get picked, by the way? Do you remember this being the playoff
thing?
Pick,
bro. You picked us. Oh my god, I forgot about the picks.
Yeah,
I think that was.
I
like that. That was the best thing in MLS Text.
Okay, so for context, MLS Text Pro did this thing where the top seeds, instead of it just being like, oh, if you're the 1 seed, you play the 8 seed. If you're the 1 seed, you get to pick who you want to play. You could pick the 3 seed if you wanted to.
And that's what Sporting Kansas did.
Yeah,
they were like, Austin has been horrible.
And so they picked them.
They were. I think it was Colorado and Sporting Kansas. I don't remember who finished first. Yeah. But Sporting Kansas picked Austin, and then the coach said, "Scared money doesn't make money."
Yeah, it's Benny Feilhaber. It was Benny Feilhaber, who's coaching Oakland Roots now. He's like, "Scared money don't make money."
And they picked like a team that arguably should not have been picked. Like, I think Austin thought they were going to get a home game, and then they get picked.
Yeah.
And they go in and like they had a chip on their shoulder for sure.
Oh yeah.
And then like after the game, they kept going like this to like Benny and stuff. Like they took it personally for sure.
Oh man.
And then I think after that was there a picking system again after that?
I don't think so. I think it was just the first round, and then it was like a set bracket from there.
And obviously then they went out to Colorado and beat them. And we went to Revs. Patrick was actually on that team.
Oh man. This is like ultimate small world.
Snuck a win.
Soccer's a small world
thing. Like at the very end. Like at the very, very end.
It was 1-0, yeah?
Jabron Rayo scored, yeah. Didn't play in that game.
Yeah, you didn't play. I was going to ask if you got injured or if you just didn't get selected.
No injury there, don't worry.
No, don't worry. Just riding the bench.
Funny, the coach brought me into the like his room before the game and was like, "Yeah, you're not going to start." Because I'd started like all the way through before that. And he was like, they want to play young players, like kind of what he said, basically. And I think Brent might have started, maybe something like that.
Let's see.
Who's the front three?
Bunbury, Rayo, and Roberts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Anyways.
Mateo. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Thomas, by the way, scored on us last week. But
Roberts. Yeah.
He was like, "We need you. Like, we're gonna need you. We're gonna bring you in. Like, be ready, man. We're gonna need you. I'm telling you."
And then you're like, "It's 0-0. Like, I'm ready."
I'm like Eastern Conference twice in a row. This is my game.
Yeah.
Like I'm the Eastern Conference guy, man. Like, there's probably 25 people in the stands at this game. The Revs have the worst, for the second team, the worst fan base I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm warming up, the whole game getting chirped by this one kid, I'm like, just wait, man.
Yeah.
Just wait. Game keeps going. My brother, who was at Yale at the time, drove from New Haven to watch. He's in the stands. I remember looking up and him having a beer. And I'm like, man, I better come in. Like, he just drove all the way here to watch some random kids play soccer. Didn't come into the game, but we won, so it's okay.
Your coach only made 2 subs, by the way.
Yeah.
2 subs I remember being like, 65th minute. Yeah.
Is he going to make another one? Like maybe just one more on the wing.
We got a couple left.
Yeah. I'm like looking down there, like, stretching my arms. Like, yeah. But we won and went to the final.
Yeah, 90+1 winner, by the way.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy winner.
Yeah.
Hype moment.
Yeah.
And then...
All for naught, though, because he lost 3-1 to Austin FC at home.
Yeah. Well, we got a trophy, but...
Yeah.
And then that game was brutal.
You did sub into this game.
And I should have... It was like... There was a chance it was like an inch from the goal that like deflected off... I think it was Joe Hafferty. Stopped it. Yeah.
Oh.
And Damien Loss was in goal.
Yeah.
And
Damien Loss was
a heartbreaker, to be honest.
Who's the starter at Louisville now. Still under contract with Austin, but
quite a good player.
Louisville. Yeah.
I think he conceded like 20 goals that year or something. It was insane.
Yeah,
that was it, the whole year.
Because that was the year where they had the MLS Next Pro goalkeepers doing the shootout.
Goalkeeper wars, man.
Goalkeeper wars, and our goalkeeper, Isaac Walker, won.
Yeah.
And Damien...
Wasn't Chitara there at the time too, though? Why didn't he play?
Chitara was there.
He was good.
Yeah, he was good, but we signed him later, and Isaac was was kind of the guy, and so he was just just kind of being the guy there. But I remember
Did he win?
Isaac Walker won.
Wow.
Wars. Yeah, and it was electric because we were all locked in. Charlotte FC wasn't having a great year.
Yeah.
And Crown Legacy was incredible. So within
our first year at Columbus. Literally.
Yeah. So within the staff we were like, well, at least we'll have a good time with Crown Legacy, So but Isaac Walker won, and Damien lost that final to Isaac in the goalie wars, and he was pissed.
He was.
He was.
Usually it's like, it's just for laughs. It's goalkeeper wars.
Go watch.
He's an intense guy.
I'll put him on this podcast and ask him. But go watch that replay, and he was not happy that he lost that game.
Yeah, he seems like that type of guy.
Yeah. He's big it's not that big of a deal. But then once you put him in a competition, he's not going to lose. But
obviously Austin Coleman, we're playing against. I didn't know Joe or Val at the time, but one of my good friends, Charlie Asensio, was playing for them from Atlanta.
Yeah.
And they won.
And
not much you can say about it.
Yeah, they won
3-1.
And that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
After going up 1-0 too, right?
Yeah, and it was sad because it was like most of the guys that had been there the first year had known their contracts were 1+1 or 2 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it was this is the end, kind of you were it wasn't the first year where it was we're coming back. It was everyone knew they weren't coming back, kind of. And I remember we had meetings the next day maybe or something, and the season ends pretty early. It's October or something. We had meetings, and Columbus Crew actually, the second team, offered to re-sign me. But at that point, I hadn't trained with the first team at all that year.
Yeah.
I could tell where it was going. It was getting younger. Laurent, I knew was leaving. The coach is leaving. Everyone's leaving. It was okay, it's time to go to the USL, kind of.
Yeah.
I was ready for that step, I guess, to play against men again. And
yeah.
And I remember going to the meeting, having honestly a great conversation. I love Columbus and everyone there. Corey Ray was the GM for the second team. Great guy. Went on to be the Montreal one. I'm not sure if he's there anymore, but
I don't know.
Laurent as well. I mean, just amazing people, honestly.
Yeah.
And then packed my bags and did a cross-country road trip with my boy, Stuart Ritchie.
Yeah.
That was the end of the year.
Yeah.
Now in Las Vegas.
Wow. Where did you go on the road trip?
Well, I do it every year basically now.
Okay.
That year we did 2. First, we both had cars, so we drove to Nashville, went there, and then went to Clemson to see one of my best friends as well. Stayed there for a night. Then Atlanta.
My little brother just graduated from Clemson.
Really?
I know Clemson really well.
Dude,
yeah. So
I've spent some fun nights in Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson's great.
Roar, Loose Change, still
Yeah.
You know those spots?
I know them. I know. I've been there. I've been there.
So it was Halloween weekend too. So fantastic.
Yeah.
And then we drove to Atlanta, where I'm from, and I dropped off my car, and drove with him all the way across because his girlfriend was living in LA at the time. So we drove to Austin. And then Pensacola, Austin, Phoenix, and then LA. And then I flew back after a week in LA. But then the next road trip, my off seasons are always kind of a lot of travel because it's time to freedom, kind of, get to
Yeah,
see the world. And
I
stuff.
mean that's like one of the things about being a professional athlete is like, oh, you think like, oh, it's a glamorous life, but you can't do anything.
Nothing
You
during the
cannot do anything.
It's,
yeah.
People don't realize kind of it's like it is nice in that like you're done early in the day, but
Yeah.
you get like one day off a week, and you're not going anywhere. You're dead.
Yeah.
So you have very little life.
It's usually
during
after the
season.
game or
So it's-
yeah.
yeah. So the off season is very definitely a chance to like see all your friends and do a lot of cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so the second one, me and my friend the Clemson guy,
Mm-hmm.
like set these dates. We're like we're gonna go, and it was not dumb, but it was like Clemson's one of the best teams in college soccer.
Yeah.
And obviously they're gonna make a run. And
Yeah.
obviously we didn't consider that at all.
Oh yeah.
So like I'm like waiting, and like we're waiting for like them to like not like lose or whatever, but like they just keep winning games. And like we're like, dude, they're gonna win it all. And like
Yeah.
it keeps getting later and later in December. And they win the national championship. This is the year Sean won. Like I met Sean then as well.
Yeah.
And
Who's your friend?
this guy Jackson Roble,
Okay.
who played for Clemson as well.
Yeah.
And they win the national championship, and like we have I think it's like 9 days before Christmas or 10 days.
Yeah.
And we're like, we've got a whole cross country trip planned at this point. And we're like, we're gonna do it, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
And so I remember it might have been less, it might have been 8 or 7 days, but
Yeah.
I drove from Atlanta to Madison and picked him up because he's from Alabama. And we drove 25 straight hours from Madison to Vail, Colorado. And I had a bed in the back of the car, which I still have, called car bed.
What kind of car do you have?
Well, last year it was a Mercedes GLA, which was much smaller. Car bed was really quite cramped.
Yeah.
This year it's a 4Runner, so it's
That's
now
a
we got
true
some room.
cross country
Yeah,
road
yeah,
trip,
yeah.
car
That
camping.
The one we did it in was, and her name was Betsy.
Oh sure.
Yeah, of course, because you name your cars.
Of course, yeah.
And she
Mine's
broke
Alice,
down.
so, yeah.
She would break down all the time. Like not the car you want for a road trip. I remember the engine light coming on, and us just being like,
Well.
just gotta go. And I remember he said like the gas pedal's not working. Like, we're in the middle of Kansas, and like we just stopped, and it's probably like 50 miles from anything. And I'm like, well, I guess you're just gonna have to try to turn it back on. And he turns it back on, and it drove again. So.
Oh yeah. God.
But yeah, we drove to Vail, 25 straight hours, and then my friend Stu texted me, and I was like, "You want to hang out in San Francisco?" So we drove 18 straight hours from Vail to San Francisco,
Oh, amazing.
and then we hung out in California for a while, saw a bunch of friends there, and then we're looking at the calendar, and we're like, it's like the 23rd at this point, or like 22nd, 23rd, and we're like, if we don't leave right now and not stop, we're gonna miss Christmas with our families, and like that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And so we like got in the car and we just started driving from LA, and we drove. I dropped him off in Madison, but we drove without a single stop other than gas. Like we didn't even stop for food. Like we'd eat like from gas stations. So many 5-hour energies.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. 35 straight hours from
And
LA
like
to,
I know how that feels too, because like when I moved here from Charlotte, I drove it.
It's
and
brutal.
And I did it over 3 days.
yeah,
right.
yeah.
And
Even 3 days is like wow, like, that was a lot.
Yeah, like we went Little Rock, stayed in a hotel, Albuquerque, stayed in a hotel.
I've taken that route before too.
And then
yeah.
and
All
to
the way across,
Vegas,
yeah.
and it was like 2 full days and then kind of a half day.
Yeah.
And that was brutal.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
we stayed in hotels and didn't
It's
do it
just one
straight
guy
through.
in the back of the car, like trying to sleep, zero
Yeah.
sleep had, because
Oh.
you're still pounding the 5-hour energy. So
Yeah.
and I remember being like laying in the back and him being like, "Dude, my heart doesn't feel right, man. Like, there's something wrong with me, dude. It's just so much caffeine." And I was like, "Man, I'm trying to sleep."
Man. Yeah.
Yeah. So class adventures there.
Yeah, but those are the best. Like just.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite things in the world, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's just like we're planning on Japan this off season, so
Ooh.
yeah.
Man, I was supposed to go to Japan for a study abroad for the Tokyo Olympics. And
Really?
then the pandemic hit.
That would have been sick. That's
that was like-
unfortunate.
yeah, that
you
was
would have been
my
there the whole
thing.
semester.
No, we were gonna go during the Olympics. It was like it was my comms and journalism degree.
Wow.
And we were gonna go for 2 weeks in like storytelling
Queens,
pods. Yeah, Queens.
Nice.
Yeah.
Edmundo.
And I was playing D2 soccer there, and
Yeah,
we
with
were
my
gonna.
Edmundo Robinson, man.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot you know Mundo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mundo's my guy. Yeah. He was my get out of jail free card when playing college soccer. Like,
Really? In what
oh,
way?
yeah, just because.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bang it up to him.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I was playing right back. Be like, oh, in trouble.
Yeah.
Mundo, off you go into the channel. That's
St.
it.
Pius High's finest.
Yeah, there you
What
go.
a player.
But yeah, we were supposed to go for like 2 weeks, and we were going to tell stories about like the impact of the Olympics on the local community.
Interesting.
And we were just going to be
Because
there.
they just leave the stadiums and
Yeah,
like
and it was just
Atlanta.
like they did it in Rio the year before, and one of the best stories was one of our teams went into one of the favelas that the embassy
Really?
had declared off limits, and they told a story about like, oh, they were expecting all this economic impact from people touring the favela,
Yeah.
and they talked to a tour guide, and they were like,
They
yeah,
tore the favela. Isn't it like quite
they
dangerous?
toured. Yeah, I mean, they were like they weren't supposed to go. Like
Okay.
they got in big trouble, but then it was the biggest story that
Really?
came from it, and it got picked up by NBC and
Wow.
like all that kind of stuff. So that
That's
was
sick.
I was supposed to do that. I was in school that spring, like training for it.
Training.
I had my two-person team, and then the pandemic hit and I lost it. Yeah. So
Unfortunate stuff.
anyways, so I've always wanted to go back to Japan.
Yeah,
so,
I'm very excited. honestly.
that's awesome. Do you have it planned out? Do you know where you're going?
We don't really plan things, man.
Yeah.
It's more of a book a ticket.
Buy the flight and
'cause
figure it out from there.
We bought tickets for last year, and then he ended up having trials. And we were going with me, this guy Jackson,
Yeah.
Enrique. He's not gonna watch it either. And then Titus Sandy Jr., who got drafted out of Clemson from
Okay.
Clemson.
Okay.
And Titus got drafted was the problem. Like I don't know if he didn't expect to or what was the deal, but we booked it for like the end of December and the beginning of January, which is like it's okay if you're a USL team,
Yeah.
but an MLS team starts like the beginning of January.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he didn't know that or not. Like, but then we just saw him get drafted, and we're like, "What the hell, man? Like, what happened to Japan?"
Yeah.
And then he's like, "We'll figure it out. Like, I'll fly straight to Orlando from Japan." And then Jackson also got trials like right around then, and so it like fell apart kind of.
Oh,
and so
yeah,
we were
sure.
like, but in terms of like just not really planning anything, we had I don't even know if we had hotels booked. We might have just figured it out once we got there, but we booked a ticket out of we live in Atlanta, like most of us. One's in New York, one's in Charlotte, one's in but like we were all gonna go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And then we looked at the tickets, and the cheapest ticket was we would have to drive to Raleigh.
Mm.
It was like I think we got a round trip to Tokyo for like $700.
That's
Insane.
incredible.
But we
Wow.
had to drive to Raleigh, fly back to Atlanta, just leave our car in Raleigh,
Yeah.
have an overnight layover in Atlanta, which is where we're from, go back to my house or whatever,
Yeah.
go back to the airport, and then fly from Atlanta to Tokyo, which is like so counterintuitive.
And then fly back into Raleigh
Yeah,
to get your cars and then drive
Yes.
back down. That's incredible.
But didn't end up happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Wow. That's fun. We're off the rails here.
Yeah, it's been a long one.
We're going. I mean, speaking of the over under, I mean,
Yeah.
your next road trip. Maybe if they want to listen to it, they've got 2 hours here.
No, I don't think anyone's going to listen to this.
They don't give
I don't
a-
think any of it
they
was
don't
usable.
care.
So
I do. Before we wrap up, we haven't talked about Las Vegas at
No,
all.
we haven't,
we haven't.
have we?
We
had some tactics in the
aside
beginning.
from our 20 minutes off the top talking tactics, we haven't talked about it at all. So I want to
yeah, real
quickly
quick,
talk
why not?
about 2024 a little bit
Yeah,
because
totally.
obviously you played a ton. You had 34 appearances, 5 goals, 3 assists,
4 assists
4 assists.
on FOTMOB. That's what it says.
Oh, okay.
Now there are 2 that were questionable. Before I'm going to countertract again.
Okay, yeah.
One was a throw-in. I just threw it to Sean and he dribbled past 3 players and scored, which I believe they gave to me.
That should count,
They
right?
did.
I mean, you've still
it's
given him
on
the
my
ball.
stats.
Yeah.
And then the other one was Birmingham. I don't know if you remember this one.
Birmingham
But-
away, 3-0 win, right? Yeah.
I got a goal and they claimed I got an assist, but I just swung at a ball for a shot, went straight under my foot. They claimed I redirected it and Joe scored.
Oh.
So they gave me both of those.
Okay.
One of them might have been taken away.
So maybe Transfer Market isn't giving you that
Yeah,
one,
that's
but
wrong.
FOTMOB is giving you
FOTMOB's
this one.
right. We're
Okay,
gonna claim it
I'm on
forward.
Transfer Market
Yeah.
for all my stats, but that's incredible. Favorite memory from 2024 season? Anything
There are a
stand
lot.
out?
I mean, there are a ton off the field, honestly, because
Mm.
we just had such a good group of guys.
Yeah.
I miss them like hell, such
Yeah.
good guys. Joe Hafferty, obviously Fal's gone now as well. Gio, so many good. Grayson, almost forgot Grayson.
Oh, yeah, Grayson.
Absolute homie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
And
dealing with a knee injury
ACL
of his
now,
own.
yeah. Get to see him every once in a while when I go
Yeah.
to California, but it was amazing. I think that we captured something for sure, like with that group that just worked.
Mhm.
It just felt like we were going to win games every time we stepped on the field. And credit to Dennis as well. Great coach, great guy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be here without him. He like literally called me and was like, "Yeah, I had no idea who he was, but he like reached out. They reached out to my agent, obviously,
Mm.
and it was getting late. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like teams were going into preseason. I was waiting, like again on the same thing as like coming out of Next Pro. Like it was hard to find teams.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends had to go on trial and stuff.
Because this was, I mean, if anyone's forgotten, like this was a desperate roster build at the beginning of
yeah.
2024 because,
Very
I
desperate.
mean, John, the sporting director, wasn't even hired in early January. He didn't get hired till the end of January.
Yeah.
So we didn't
Like,
even have an opportunity
I don't
to
know
get
if
you.
I was signed before John was here or not, but like they
Yeah.
were similar timings.
Yeah, I mean, he got in and just like
Yeah,
straight
signed
away.
everyone. Yeah.
signed
But,
everyone in 3 weeks essentially.
Literally,
and yeah,
credit, man. Like he built a good roster with that little time.
yeah.
But I'm forgetting what I was gonna say.
Dennis.
Yeah,
and-
sorry. Yeah, he
yeah.
like called me and I was waiting, and it's like nothing was coming in, and I was actually like FaceTimed the coach at Louisville. Like they were very, very interested at the time, and like didn't hear anything. And I was like, kind of like I thought I was gonna get an offer there, And then they were like in preseason, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not signing there.
Because that's not happening.
Yeah, and then Vegas, thank God, came in
Mm-hmm.
and offered me a deal, and spoke with Dennis, and like was just super sold on the project, like
Yeah.
very much in on what he brought and the players and the idea and everything, and just like literally signs at the end of January, and then drove out here like a week later to Tucson,
Incredible.
and yeah, great year.
Yeah. And then just, I mean, not like a tough start. Like,
Oh yeah.
kind of one of those things where, like, I don't know, you sign up for the project, you're like, oh, this is good. Then
Well,
you get here.
interestingly, in preseason, we were pretty good for like having not played. I mean, we tied every game.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't win, but we
Yeah.
were tying like Phoenix, Orange County,
Yeah.
New Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't think we lost.
Yeah.
But then the season started, and then we started losing.
Yeah. And there's, I mean, was there any point in that early season where you're like, oh boy, like, what am I getting myself into here? Because I mean, like, look, it's no secret. Like, you're playing for Atlanta, you're playing
Yeah.
for Columbus. You come here to Las Vegas, which is a complete rebuild. The
Yeah.
facilities are not the same as they are
No,
there.
not the same as
right?
Columbus or Atlanta.
Yeah, so it's like there's a reality there that is
Yeah.
like, ooh,
Oh yeah, I
I'm here
remember-
now.
Yeah, arriving at Cashman for the first time before they'd cleaned it up and stuff. It was
Mhm.
interesting, to say the
Yeah,
least.
yeah.
Field has gotten miles better,
Mhm.
but yeah, it was interesting, and it was
Yeah.
it was interesting too, because like not that I had accepted like it was going to be worse by any means, but it was kind of like, you're leaving the MLS system, and it's like
Yeah.
realistically it's hard to go back from.
Mhm.
So I was like, you're gonna grind out the USL kind of, and like this
Yeah.
is a good league and it's growing.
Yeah.
But coming in, I had no idea. Like, I had seen they were the worst team in the league the year before. I had seen that. I had known a guy who played for them, and I had Andrew Carlton, and it was like
Yeah.
it was shocking.
Mm-hmm. Which is pre-Batista ownership. When
Yeah,
Carlton was
of
here.
course.
Yeah,
This is,
yeah.
It was kind of like they had a lot going on then.
Yeah.
And and so I was just like, I don't know what I'm getting into, to be honest. I have no idea, but it's getting late in January.
I need a team.
I'm signing.
Yeah.
Put the paper down. I'll take it.
Yeah.
And it ended up being incredible. Like, I couldn't have asked for anything better for a first
Yeah.
year. I got to play out of the gate,
Yeah.
And like obviously it was tough at the beginning losing games, but I think there was always a thought that like we have good players.
We just
We
need to
have
put
a
it
good
together.
group.
Yeah.
And like I couldn't complain because like I was getting a few goals, I was getting some assists, I was playing a lot, and like that's going into USL your first year, like that's not promised. And so, I mean, I was very like happy with how I was doing, and I knew that the results were going to come, and obviously they did. So
Yeah. Talented team too, and there's a
Very.
couple guys that have moved on. JC's doing really well
Yeah,
at
great
Vancouver now. Pretty pivotal part of the midfield. So, moving. You think anything about that playoff run? Did you get injured during that playoff run? I can't remember.
Two kind of like
Yeah.
it was. I mean, after playing, you play much more games when you get to USL versus.
Yeah.
And I was like going the whole year. Like I had like one small knock where I like had a foot thing, and I missed 2 games. I missed Louisville and Tampa.
Yeah.
2 bad games to miss because they're really good teams. But I had, like bruising in my foot of my bone. And that was like in May, and then I had a concussion, and that was it. Like I only missed 1 game for that, and the whole year like, and then we get to playoffs, and like I have like a pulled calf like against I don't remember even who that was against, but it was like bugging me. That was New Mexico, and then we go into New Mexico. I get a bulged disc after New Mexico, and I miss the most important game, Colorado, which is brutal.
Yeah.
My body was just falling apart at the end. Honestly, I get into training, I'm like, well, I can't
I can't do anything.
Yeah, which is funny. I guess
so
that
much
was,
more load on your body though.
Of course, and like so many minutes across the year.
Yeah.
And I guess that was foreshadowing for this year.
Yeah, good transition because you walked into preseason and absolutely did your ankle in preseason.
It was bad.
Yeah.
I thought I had broken it, honestly. Kellogg's here.
Yeah.
With a trialist keeper and a shooting drill. This is the unseen details of Las Vegas Lights.
Yeah.
But I shot the ball, and like the rep was fully like over, and I like, to be fair, I shouldn't have reached for it.
Yeah.
But like I just like kind of put my foot out. Like I thought it was like done, and I was like just touch the ball away. Like I wasn't even gonna go to goal. I was gonna go back the other direction kind of. And he like dove on it.
Oh yeah.
And he just dove directly on my ankle. And this was a big guy. He was 200 easy.
Yeah.
The full weight just coming down on my ankle and just snapped my ligament.
Yeah.
And then I missed. It was like literally like the 3rd day of training, I think, like 2nd or 3rd day. And I missed from then until
I mean,
Late.
I mean, man, I was in preseason with the team, and man, you were just like sitting on the side of like training,
Hobbling around.
just like you were so depressed.
Yeah.
Like it was bad. Like because you can't do anything.
Nothing.
And the worst thing too
I
is
was
that like,
swimming. That was the only thing I could do.
especially in preseason, because you had to stay in preseason to be around the team and all
For
that kind
2
of
weeks
stuff.
in a hotel.
And you say all you're doing is just like going to training and watching everyone else train, and
Yeah.
then going back to your hotel
Yeah,
and
and
sitting
then
around.
going back, and then they're like,
this
okay, you have
sucks
a
so
swim workout.
bad."
And I'm like,
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was out until what was the first
Until
game?
Orange County.
Orange County.
Yeah.
And that
you-
was when, April?
Yeah, April 5th. So you got back April
And
5th.
The whole time, like, it's hard when you're a player coming back because you want to be
Yeah.
back so badly.
Yeah.
But I, in hindsight, rushed back for sure.
Mm.
And was in pain a lot of that time.
Yeah. You played 2 games, Orange County and Lexington, 23 minutes off the bench in both games.
And I was okay, but I definitely was struggling. And then I played Chattanooga as well in the Open Cup.
Yep.
And then I had a week where I couldn't play because of my ankle, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And like I got an injection as well, and it was just like brutal. And then I hadn't played at all, and then I started against AV Alta, having like not trained, and I was like, that's confusing, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely worse for wear at that point. Been worn down,
Mhm.
and then go into training, go into another challenge with the keeper, do it again.
Yeah. I remember like, kind of touching base with John, and he's like, man, Coleman did the same thing. Like the same thing. Like what are we? What? It's always something. It's
Yeah.
always something.
Yeah.
But not as bad that
Not
time though.
quite as bad at all. Like
Still a
it took me just
re-injury.
as long to get back because I
Yeah.
actually took my time that time around, and
Yeah.
which was smart, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I did the ligament directly next to the other ligament. So, like, I had fully torn the ATFL the
Yeah.
first time around and had, like, severe bone bruising throughout. Second time, I don't remember what the ligament was called, but I had a partial tear in that and more bone bruising. So, yeah.
A lot of time on the sideline.
A lot of time on the sideline just doing ankle reps, with the
Yeah.
band.
You and Eduardo just
Me
hanging
and
out on the
Eduardo, yeah,
sideline.
yeah.
He's our physical therapist.
But now we're back.
Yeah, and now we're back. You finally got back. July 4th was your first game back. Sacramento. And then you played a couple times off the bench over the next couple games, and then have essentially been starting under Devin. So Devin coming in has kind of coincided with you returning to like full fitness.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
been good timing.
Very good timing,
in
for
that
sure.
sense.
And it was, obviously, the coaching changes, just like, it's been a tough year, but
yeah,
for when I arrived back, it couldn't have been better timing, to be honest. Like,
yeah,
I had and Gio's great, and I had a nice period where I, came back into it, and then I got a start under him as well.
Yeah.
And then, like, basically perfectly timing, like, just as it coincided to come in.
yeah, absolutely. And then for you now, I'm sure the focus is just like stay healthy. Keep getting minutes on the body so that you can just finish the last 9 games of the season and hopefully a few more as strong as possible. 'Cause
Totally.
that's all you can really look for. Let's wrap up here.
Oh,
We're getting close to 2 hours. I almost just want my timer to click over to 2
have
hours.
fun editing this one.
Luckily, Omar live edits it. So,
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
There
he's
you
got
go.
he's got a switcher over there that switches between the cameras. So all he has to basically do is export. So
What is this going to get, 3, 4 views maybe?
it'll get more than that.
You
Come
think?
on.
How many do you usually get?
Don't underestimate the fan base.
Okay, yeah.
On YouTube, it's everything clears 100 views.
Wow, there you go.
So, and I'm sure yours will clear far more than that.
Do you think?
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, thank you so much.
What do you think?
I think we're going to retain about 1% of people throughout the episode.
Yeah,
We're gonna
I
give
think
up pretty fast.
if you're still listening at this point
Yeah,
in the
well
podcast,
done.
well done to you.
Reach out to Will. He'll send you a jersey.
He shook his head for those that aren't in the.
Yeah, but still reach out.
Yeah.
He still won't send it. Yeah, thank you.
But anything you want to leave here so that people know, so that if I talk to someone like, oh, I listened to the full Coleman pod, like, oh, okay, what should I ask
No, that's
them
all you,
to-
man. You're the
Yeah.
podcast guy. Drop a little Easter egg for him.
What I do want to know, and what I ask everyone at the end of every episode, is having talked through your entire journey and talked in detail through every single stop. Is there anything you look back on and go, ooh, that was like the moment that everything changed for me? Or if that moment hadn't happened, that was really pivotal in some way for me?
It's interesting because, like, there were so many moments that I would, in the moment, be like, things are going so poorly or whatever.
Yeah.
And looking back, I just see it so fondly of, like, it's just, like, almost satirical of, like, that was funny.
Italy for 2
Yeah,
months.
yeah, all of it, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think more and more I realize that, like, not that things aren't serious, but that like through that lens, your life will always be kind of like better in a way. Like I see every experience I've had as a good one in that, like, and not a specific moment, as you say, but like it's all been great. And I don't know, like it's just been, I wouldn't change literally anything. From, even though like I am nowhere near where I thought I would be, like, and obviously probably delusionally, but like I've like who I've become in a way, and that like I was so uber focused on soccer when I was younger too, and I think that like I didn't value life outside of it at all, and I think that I've really come to appreciate life outside of soccer much more, and you know, it's a job, number one. Like, you need to have life outside of it. Otherwise, it's all-encompassing. And when things go wrong, life on the field will feel like your whole life. And I think that has been a huge help. And then also just, like, enjoying it all, you know? Like, even the bad moments, because you're going to look back and, like, think they were the best times of your life, even if they're shit in the moment. So
yeah, absolutely. I think it's just good advice in general, like not just for professional athletes, but just everyone. Like that balance is so important. And I think like when you talk to people that are truly like have like a true level of happiness, or like I'm like really satisfied with them in life, almost always they have a good balance between like even if it's something that is fun, like, you know, being a professional athlete is something that every little kid dreams of being a professional athlete, but if it's the only thing that matters in your life, it will become toxic so fast. Of course.
And it's like, naturally, professional sports is arguably one of the most toxic fields of anything to be in, because it's like you're competing for your life, number one, and you have to win games, and it's like you're dealing with pressure and like whatever everything outside happens, and it's like you don't understand that when you're a kid, really. Yeah. And like you only see the glitz and the glamour of it, and like you only want the ego side, and like you have to want to play because you love to play, and you have to just accept that, like, not everything's going to work out, kind of like, you know, I thought I was going to be, you know, in Europe playing for a great team, and like, and that's not to hate on anything in the USL, because it's a high level, and I'm exactly where I belong. And the realization of that is definitely a satisfying and peaceful one, in that, like, I'm not so, I feel like, especially at crew too, I would just like pull my hair out over decisions and stuff, because I was like so like, and speaking of a moment where things clicked, I guess, I was so like focused on what I wanted versus where I was, which I think is a big thing in my life, is like not being focused on the future and more being just like happy with where you are. And like things would go wrong in terms of like the bigger goal to make the first team or whatever it is, and it would be like the end of the world. It would be like I'd sit in my car and just like yell and just be like, why me? Why, you know? And meanwhile, I'm playing professional soccer. Like, my life couldn't be any, like, you know, I can't ask for anything more, kind of. And there was definitely a moment at the end of Crew 2, probably like the fall, where I was just like, if you keep living like this, dude, you're never going to ever be like happy or satisfied, or like, and it kind of just clicked of like, that's not at all a way to process life, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good place to leave us. We've successfully clicked over 2 hours.
There we go.
So that's what I was looking for. Yeah, that is
top 10 unexpected moments.
Top 10 unexpected moments. Clip that on YouTube. Yep. Well, Coleman, thanks for all the time. Really enjoyed this. And we'll see all you guys this Saturday at Cashman Field as we match up against Lexington in a critical 6-pointer. So see you there.
Later.
It's going to fall in behind for Pizza.